Hey, Jibber, man. Dude, thanks for the 6666. Take my picture, man. Kings. Bruh. Hey, Tritas. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a good week. Hopefully the insanity from yesterday will calm down a little bit, and maybe Bitcoin and crypto will find a more certain direction. But for now, we sit and we wait to see what will happen after Bitcoin has reacted at the pattern completion zone of the small bearish cipher pattern we've been talking about the past couple days. And that pattern completion zone happened to be at a high from February 6th, and you're pulling back, but not by too much yet. 38,554 is also a peak. The Elon Musk tweet, January 29th. So you're hanging on for now, but not really sure your oscillators are giving you too much of an edge. I mean, like, this is a peak here, but I mean, just from this peak from May 20th to the lower high, that is lower level or higher levels relative strength. So you could try to argue here, but it may not be a strong argument because of just too much oscillation in between. Bitcoin's not really making higher lows yet. You can try to say that's a higher low, maybe. but it's certainly right now not making higher highs, and that's exactly what you got to see. You want to see, if you're truly wanting to see Bitcoin recover here and maybe reverse a trend, you're going to have to break above 42,000. I'm talking break it and then back test it, hold it as support to confirm to market participants that yep, an old resistance is support now before it can run out to 45k, and at 45k that's just another area that is going to have to be broken. There's just a lot of chop up here. All right, you're on the bottom side. So, you know, that's Bitcoin. Remember, bullishly engulfed a couple days ago, just like total market cap, Ethereum, and others. I mean, you know, total market cap looks kind of a little bit better. I don't know, it's about the same. It's almost like identical, right? X, A, B, C, D, you're at 786. You got to break this, man. Like, if you want total to truly recover and make a much more deep retrace to a 786, 886, you've got to break 1.7 to 1.78 trillion dollar market cap, right? That just hasn't happened yet. Patiently waiting. As you can see on the daily, it still looks okay. You know, daily's losing that negative Momo.
Bitcoin, are you silly? Of course I'm going to send it.
What's up, B-Shit? Thanks, man. So I think, and truly, until you fall below, and on the daily you close below 1.389 trillion, you're safe. This bullish signal, engulfing candle, is still valid, and it could manifest eventually. Even after, you know, think about it, it could sell off on the daily, get away 1.45 trillion before pivoting and rallying, and still be valid. So this could be what ushers in what you think could be maybe a larger harmonic, kind of like what we were looking at on
AMC, Rocket,
Ethereum,
Rocket, dollar bills face,
No,
don't
yeah,
hate me
sharp.
for this.
No, that'd be a SIPA, 786. Thank you, NIKS. Thank you, man. AMC Connect. Well, dude, I don't know. We're going to trade on GME, which is GameStop, big brother of the meme stock. So, whatever, dude. Oh, and again, thank you so much, Jeffrey, for the 6666 before the stream even started. Really appreciate that, man. Much love.
Dude, what kind of watch do you got? $250,000. Wild stream, but well done, Mitch.
Yeah, an experimentation that, you know, the real ones who, like, respect me and care about me genuinely, like, understand it was just, it was on the fly. I had no idea what to expect. I had never really done a true interview so much on stream before, and we had a guy who was a guest who has literally done only kind of interviews, like extremely seasoned in what he wanted to do. So, you know, again, I don't know how much we'll be exploring on-the-fly interviews from now on, but we'll be definitely having scheduled interviews like Scott Carney today. It's not an interview, though. I'm just going to be hanging out with him. We're just going to be talking about charts. That was exactly all I wanted to do in my mind at the time. I just wanted to talk about charts, TA, and just the cool stuff about the psychologies of buyers and sellers. Don't know if like that's exactly everything I got yesterday, but that's okay. You know, Scott Carney, well, you know, he's never disappointed me before, so we'll see. He's got a pretty cool pick, though.
Beer mugs, 0.00110000 BTC.
I have some evidence Manbear Pig could be in this area.
Well, dude, Manbear Pig's literally here, Al Gore. He just tipped $43 worth of Bitcoin. Thank you, dude. Kingsman. Cheers. So again, man, experimentations, there's nothing wrong with it occasionally. Once every 3 years, you try something out, if it doesn't work out, whatever. Guess what happens? 24 hours goes by, another live stream begins, and we do it all again. We try something else, right? And we move on. It's like fine, you know, because we're just like, Bitcoin's in a lull right now, trying to find direction. We don't really know, you know, I don't know if we've set in this really strong higher low yet.
Yesterday. Well done. Jam on.
Okay, cool. I'm glad someone got something out of it. That's cool. Great. Thank you for the 5, Drew. And so yeah, just going back to total real quick, talking about the bearish cipher. Like, all that standing in the way of the cipher, I believe, is this zone of congestion we're talking about. Well, if you break that, that's like where Bitcoin will go on a much more prolonged rally to a deep retrace. Well, not Bitcoin, but total market cap, and I think it could be Ethereum leading the way amongst others, maybe Cardano, a few, just that are a blend of the market cap. Because this is just an aggregate of all assets in the space, at least on trading. So that's where I think it could be headed in time, even if, dude.
Each interview, but your skill are obvious. Buy and hold is best. Go long.
Thanks, dude. So even if it fails here and we sell off, and then what do? We make like a deep bat or deep cipher, XABCD. That's still okay. That's still not. That would be great, actually, in a way of just determining that, hey, there are now more market participants that own the asset than before, and then you can start talking about like an inverse head and shoulders, right? So I'm just telling you, I don't know when when this thing's going to break this area of congestion, but it could go sooner rather than later and get to that level, or sell off, pivot, make a higher low. Can't get your break over here, and then run up, and then break it, right? Multiple ways this could happen. That's why it's like uncertain, but you're thinking eventually that would occur, a deep retrace that could usher in a major reversal to the downside. But again, man, even if it's gonna be worst case scenario, bull runs over, we're going to much lower prices, this could happen first, because it's just not gonna go straight down. All right. So just talking to you about scenarios when there's not a trade set up on total, or when there's not a trade set up, when it's just uncertain in crypto, we look for greener pastures until there is. But I mean, at the same time, we knew yesterday, like on Ethereum, but it looks still great. Its chart looks way better. What's going on? Why am I freezing? Good Lord. Hey, a new technical problem occurred today. It's never happened before. On my motherboard, one of the USB 3.0 slots died. RIP. So let's have a moment of silence for USB port 3.0 number 6. Moment of silence, chat. Okay, that's good. That's good enough. Good enough. So I don't know what to do about that. That's... Oh, God, man. Imagine having to uninstall a motherboard. God. Yeah, that's in the chat for the USB 3.0 port number 7. Anyway, so looking at the Ethereum chart, anything above 2600 is bullish to me. I'm happy about that. It's just not doing the same thing. It's not butting up against a resistance like Total and Bitcoin is. It's above everything except 3K. It hasn't even tested it yet. I think it will test 3K above 2600 eventually, and that's what we're talking about. Just the same structure, same structural development going on Ethereum as it is on Total, right? The cipher, the wave analysis that we find, and happens all the time. 786, 886, right? 3800, 3850 up there. Eventually, what I'm saying eventually is like worst case crap happens. Oh my God.
Hey, why are you not thinking the interview on Hex was not good? It was great to get that guy on. If I was a global bank, I would be seriously scared about Hex being a viable banking choice. It was great that you landed the interview. Well done, bro.
Thanks for the Rolexes, dude. So, Ethereum, worst case scenario, let's just say like, oh my God, China banned crypto for the 10th time. Okay, it dumps and it hits 2050. It's still okay. You understand that? It would still be making a higher low and back testing old support resistance as support. And then this wave would still be valid, because the wave does not become invalid until you fall below that initial low, the bullish pin bar reversal, right? Then it goes up, right? So it's either now or later. I like Ethereum. I can't stop liking Ethereum, okay? There's nothing I can do about it. It just makes me feel good. USB number 6, what'd you say? Oh God, hold on. RIP USB port number 7, you will be missed. I know, dude. Guz. Yeah, they don't even make enough of them, dude. There's just not enough ports. God. So you get what I'm saying? Like, I think that we're on the C to D wave, most likely, and a much more significant rally could occur after one valley, after a second valley that unfortunately is much lower than the first valley. And that's okay, and that's why you get these deep retraces and they fail to recapture the all-time highs. I mean, think about it. This is an area where it could go to the 786, but at the same time, it could also go to the 886. And it could be sharp. Or it could even be so strong that it goes to 113% retrace, sees all-time highs, and goes to 47.18. These are all possibilities on the new wave, the C to D wave. 786, 886, 113. Okay? Not gonna get there overnight at all. It's gonna take a while. It may never happen, right? Because there's just nothing certain in these markets. But I do like where it's bottomed out, where there's all this congestion, all this support resistance was created. Remember, everyone was complaining, said Ethereum was trash. And so, dude, I remember. I'm here every day. I read your comments, and like so many of chat was just like, I'm sick and tired of Ethereum. I'm going into Bitcoin. I'm going into Pundicoin. I'm going into something else because Ethereum's just not doing anything. Well, that saved your A. It saved your butt a couple times now. Because of this consolidation, it was resistance became support. And now you're building even more strong congestion here, right? This is even more data for history. I like it, man. It's not bad. So let's see if the wave, I think 3K, if Bitcoin doesn't crap out at the pattern completion zone of the mini cipher, which is really could happen, you know, but eventually 3K, as long as you stay above 25,
I'm a
2600.
night shifter and so I watch every day but rarely watch live. Can you have a look at CRLBF, Cresco Lab?
Yeah, weed stock.
Much love for the time
that a
you
joint?
invest. We're all blessed for it.
Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, Patreon was looking at that yesterday. It looked terrible. It's like it had its amazing run up. I think Matthew D or Wolf, they identified a beautiful inverse head and shoulders. I even longed it. And I'm out now. But like, it's just the structure so ugly. Stupid amounts of distribution with a buy wall. We will look at it, yeah. And I don't know, about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes from now is when we'll be getting Scott Carney on. So we just had it scheduled for that because I wanted to get like the analysis, the value you want, uninterrupted, kind of there, right? On Bitcoin and Ethereum and total market cap, right? Let's look at Litecoin even up 6%. It's just, it's the same thing, same situation as Bitcoin. You don't have a really well-established high or low yet. I just don't know if you can consider that it, and it's trying to break 195. There's just so many resistances, right? I think if you can get above 195, you can go to 245 probably pretty fast, but again, it's going to go at the pace of Bitcoin. And we know Bitcoin just hit a deep retrace in an XABCD bearish structure, so hopefully what could happen is it underperforms and then rallies again, and then, you know, Ethereum goes to 3K, Litecoin goes to 245, Bitcoin goes to 42K, right, type stuff, and then maybe like a bearish shark or something instead of a cipher occurs, you know. So yeah, people be like inverse head and shoulders, maybe on the 60 minute, yeah, something like that. You could be, but then you've got like
Hey Mitch. Fantastic work yesterday. Thank you for doing it. Hexicans appreciate the time. It was fun. P.S. Get a follow on Twitter, lol, much love. Keep it up, bro.
Thanks for
Told
the
you
10,
I
dude.
wasn't trolling.
Thanks, dude. So it's going to Bitcoin Cash, right? Like the lower low, unfortunately, like Ethereum. But man, that's like some serious type of divergence down there. Critical areas of
Can
support.
we get a spin and get a chug and memory of USB 7 RIP?
I mean, we can spin, but I'm not gonna. I might be in debt if it lands on Chug right now. Okay. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, dude. Calvin. So, right when we're talking about Bitcoin Cash, we liked it in ways just because of the harmonic structure, the pattern completion zone, not once but twice being achieved, confirmation low, and it's up 5% roughly today. But there's a lot of like, look what it's at. It's been at this. It was here yesterday. When I analyzed this yesterday, it's that February 15th, February 22nd high, right? You're just at it. Not really rejecting it. You've tested it, failed, pulled back just a little bit, you rally right back at it, pull it back a little. That's not really rejection, so maybe absorption's going on. And once it absorbs remaining supply at that 750, it goes up to 752. No, I'm sorry, if it breaks 750, it's going to 850 to 874, which is an old support resistance way back yesteryear, right here, July of 2018, March 2018, November 2017. Huge deal. You get above 850, that's the big breaking point. That's when big markup to 1179 would occur. Fast. Okay, so 850 is your big breaking point for Bitcoin Cash. You got to get above. Bitcoin's is like all like 40, 42, 44K. God, it's too many. And all Ethereum has, it's so easy on Ethereum. Just 3K. That's it. You break 3K, 3,500 like that. Nothing, because they're straight up, straight down. These are a little bit more complex than Ethereum. I like Ethereum so much because it went into price discovery. It's way above its levels from 2017, 2018. It's kind of in its own league a little bit. Cardano's in similar situation to Ethereum, where there's just nothing really looking left, but straight up, straight down. These are Litecoin's tough because it's just wow. There's so much support resistance everywhere, right above you. Kind of reminded me of silver below $26. Just like, it could reverse anywhere. There's so many peaks and valleys. Hey, what's up, Matthew L? I've been fostering cream. Okay, no cream. Yeah, we'll look at it. Not immune to Bitcoin's devastation recently, right? That's okay. A lot of these coins have rallied up a lot off their nadir levels. Okay, so if Bitcoin Cash is in a shark, then we would talk about PCZ, as we talked about yesterday, high to low. Minimum 1,054, but it doesn't make any sense at 1,054 for reversal. The 618, 1179, 1192 is like X marks the spot if this is actually going to play out. All right, and that'd be a profit taking level because if the trend is truly reversed, that's a major reversal point. Yep. Not getting over, just getting through this VeChain. Remember, VeChain looked good too? And it was like this. It was like, VeChain doing things. Yeah. I mean, like a higher low on wicks, a lower low on candle closes, but I liked it because of the 88.6% retrace, not once, but twice. Confirmation lows at pattern completion zones. Confirmation lows at deep value areas. 88% sale on VeChain, not once, but twice? Are you kidding me? So now you're above 10 cents, then there's very little left. Once you break this B point, this little insignificant 13-cent area, you're going up to 20 cents most likely fast. This thing's up 15.27%, and it looked great. It was bullish divergence on the oscillator, or at least on the RSI. I thought it looked good. There's nice value areas from February 24th. That's a pretty discernible swing low, at least on the 4-hour that I see, and it's having a nice recovery there. So we'll see. Everything's beholden to Bitcoin for the most part. All right. Okay. Well, there's just all kinds of assets that are up double-digit percentage points today. Look at Engine, up 56% today. Devastated. And now pumping. And it's overbought, and look where it is. That's not going to be easy, man. That's a definite potential reversal area, right? Really tough to see an asset breaking above a critical support resistance from March 23rd, April 25th, May 12th, May 18th. When you run up this much and you're now overbought, it's just hard to believe. I mean, you see this is where a pullback would occur, at least someone. This is like where people would, hey, we're up 58% down, Engine, all right, profit taking. Nothing wrong with that, dude, right? If not here, where? Like ever. If you do break above this, you probably would run straight up to 263. Way more upside if it can break this, but you can see here, it's not a joke of an area. I would be careful though, after such a nice markup. Profit taking would be had at levels like this. This is exactly where people would set silvers. Okay, we'll see. Nice rally though, congratulations. Congratulations, Engine Coin. Notable gainer today. Well, let's be real. I mean, like, most things are up 10% beyond. Now, let's look at, let's shift it real quick. S&P 500. Man, stocks were on fire today. I mean, maybe not the index fund. It's only up 0.19%. Man, there were some individual stocks that were blasting off doing things, man. All right, so still just struggling at that $4,200 area. Maybe break it, man. Just seems like supply line would be probably your next bet again. I mean, where it's regarded it a multitude of times, 3 different times before pulling back, and now kind of double bottoming locally. And yeah, you're thinking like 43.20. It's tested again. It just keeps going. So that's your S&P. But then we're like, you're just like looking at like GameStop, dude. Like, what the heck? Another up day for GameStop. Trade setup, first target's 276. We're almost there, dude. Almost there on GameStop. So it's first target, not the second. You gapped up, not by much. So I just hope that you gap up one more time, hit those targets. Boom, we'll hit the first target, and then I don't care after that, right? So this is how meme stocks kind of work. But this is like pure technicals. Okay, Matthew D like tipped and like one he's like, look at this, or just for jokes, man, let's look at it. I'm like, okay, and it's like, holy crap. And it's like straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, and then straight up, straight down. And it's like, if you break 183, you're gonna go straight up because history tells us that. What's up, Meth dude?
Mev666 tipped $28.51. Hi Mitch, could you look at OXT, USD on Coinbase? I need a fresh look. 0.0100545 ETH.
We'll look at it, Meth. Thank you for the Ethereum contribution. Really appreciate it. Yeah, dude. That one's just kind of, it's going to do exactly what Bitcoin is doing. And normally, these days, lately, it's just been underperforming all the time. It's just low. It's like, you tell me OXT, and I'm like, just Ethereum. Like, DCA Ethereum going to overtake Bitcoin one day. Maybe, unironically, right? And Carl Icahn came out today and says he wants to get into crypto in a big way. All right. Very good news. Here's the thing, though. You have that PayPal announcement where they're going to make it to where you own your own keys and you can take them off PayPal and put them in cold storage. I like that. I love that. That's such a big deal. And it's like they're front-running Robinhood. I think that Robinhood said they were going to do that, and they still haven't implemented it, right?
Hey Mitch,
I think that's huge.
That one harmonic
but it's not affected the market. Price didn't do anything. Maybe it sold off a little bit. So that's just
show a perfect bear cipher.
What's that? C is not low enough to be a bearish cipher. Is it not? Oh, we'll look at it again. Thank you, dude. Just to make sure. And if it's not low enough, I don't know, man. So anyway, GameStop. I just lost my train of thought. Crap. That happens sometimes. That's not low enough to be a bearish cipher. It was pretty close, man. 113, 113% retrace. That is certainly low enough. What do you mean? What do you mean? A cipher is a minimum of a 113% retrace and a maximum of a 1414 fib extension. So it could still dump here and go all the way down to like $1,500 and still be a valid argument for a potential bearish cipher. It could even go to the 1.618 fib extension, and then it would be considered potentially a bullish shark. The beginning of a bullish shark on C. So yes, it actually is confirmation of that by looking at it with our eyeballs right now as I'm speaking to you and you're breathing. You can see it right here. It is indubitable. It is undeniable. It is perfect. It meets the minimum by a few percentage points. 113, this is 116. Okay? That's it. Okay, let's get to some gold real quick. I'm pushing this because we got the man, the legend himself on here. Gold pulled back a little bit after testing. Hey, it did it. It finally did it, chat. All right, we can say with confirmation that the target has been achieved on gold. We must play it because of, oh man, it's just like you celebrate when these trade setups will hit their targets and stuff, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just like TA being respected.
Peace 0.003530.
Right, officially 1903, May 5th. It's May 26th. You made it, man. You freaking made it. I don't know. This song is bad, dude. Like really bad. Like, what are you thinking? How did that get published? Jeez.
You were talking about PayPal front-running Robinhood with the wallet key situation.
Oh yeah. I think that's great. But the thing is, what I don't like is how Bitcoin didn't really react. You know, any kind of news like that when the sentiment was awesome was, holy crap, Bitcoin's up 6%, 10% on news like that. Not you don't have that back yet. Oh yeah. All right, there's a Discord. Join the Discord. We got nearly 14,000 members strong. We're growing every day. They're spamming it. You get notified when I go live. You will miss live streams if you're not part of the Discord getting notified from us because YouTube's system fails. And that is a certainty. That is not a probability. It is a certainty. You will not get notified when I go live occasionally. Or more times than not sometimes. It's random. It's weird. They only send out notifications occasionally to a certain amount of my subs. It's weird. So, the big deal on gold, dude. You are now at Play the Critical Area song. This is it, dude. This is it. Okay, that's a candle high close from August of 2011. You're at it, man. You're testing it. Now the top of it, 1919. So it's like 1900, 1920. You break that. 1955. After 1955, 2076. So this is very good on gold and silver. No surprise. I mean, like, we monitor this every single day. I mean, you do remember March 31st when we identified a tweezer bottom with bullish divergence on the relative strength index and a back test of a spring of the downsloping channel. It was beautiful, and little did we know, because you don't know what they can turn into. But that's the same thing of like identifying a bullish pin bar, or a bullish engulfing candle. Like, you just don't know what they'll turn into. Like, we're talking like total on the daily. You just don't know at the time what this can manifest into, how deep of a retrace. What were you thinking? It could be real. It could be a big one. Hey, it's the Nigerian scammers, man. They're trying to impersonate me on the YouTube comments. So remember, if you ever think you're getting messaged by me after leaving a comment, on the static video of the live stream, understand that there are Nigerian scammers that are trying to steal your money, and they're trying to act like they're me to get you, because you trust me, and so they're trying to use that as a guise to gain your trust so they can steal your money. So don't think I'm hitting you up. All right, I'm not soliciting you ever for anything. Okay? They are. I mean, this is their job, dude. This is their day job. Oh, hey, man, getting up, kissing the wife, going to work downtown Nigeria, to get those Western people's money, dude. And they got, like, in their scam office, they've got one of those motivational posters, Teamwork, we can scam together. They have board meetings like a regular office, Oh, God. Can you imagine all that? Okay, alright, so gold at a critical area, profit-taking level for good reasons, but it could just break through it. You hit these critical inflection points, and it's no wonder it's a profit-taking level on a trade setup, but at the same time, if it ever breaks that, it could go insane. Like, we saw that just happens, like in crypto, like on Dash, remember, in Zcash, they'll hit beautiful targets after a while, and then they'll hit the third target, then they'll break that major resistance where that's exactly where a huge reversal of the downside could occur, but it doesn't. It breaks it, and there's no supply above that, so it moons. So it's just like, okay. Okay, let's see here. All right. I think it's time. I think we're going to get Scott Carney, the man, on. We're just going to talk about whatever we want, and it's going to pertain to true technical analysis, okay? True TA, with harmonics, whatever. Respect. No condescending stuff. Okay. Let me put my headphones on. Sorry. That was a guitar, absolutely, dude. Cabo. Alright, he's being called right now. Muting my overlay, so TTS is off. But you can still tip, and I can still see the message and stuff, but it's just like, when someone's on, it's just not, it's pretty rude, you know?
Check that. 1 second there.
Hey, Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Actually, that's a lot better. I was listening to both streams.
Awesome stuff. Well, welcome, Scott. Chat, give Scott Carney a warm tier, respect, welcome, or whatever. I don't even know what we would say. How are things going down in Miami, man?
Getting ready.
Yeah.
Been really nice. And I personally getting ready to take some time off. Long overdue. So, hope you're ready too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been working hard. I mean, you know, like, I got out of keto and just, I don't know. I tried to get the six-pack. I don't think I can get that, quite that six-pack that made me happy. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be skinny. So, I got back on protein and protein shakes and lifting and all that. I'm not really intermittently fasting as much anymore, so I'm ready. So that means, like, when I go down, my diet won't be limited, you know? Like, I'm gonna look better with a shirt off. All those things, the beach things. Like, who's gonna... Imagine being on keto on vacation in Miami. Like, that would be crazy, right?
A lot of fish, a lot of good steakhouses, a lot of good Brazilian steakhouses, and, I think it's... Look, you're gonna have a great time. It's probably the nicest time of year to be in Miami. A lot of people don't know that, but June is actually the nicest month. If you like warm weather, clear, dry, 90 degree, this is it. So you're gonna be down a good time. I think we're gonna see some big people. I personally would love to meet Michael Saylor and a couple other of these guys.
That would be legendary, dude. I mean, if we could meet with Michael Saylor and just get a selfie with him or something, yeah, that would be just like... Sorry, I got this scammer, this Nigerian scammer who keeps making accounts, like, while I'm live. He, like, knows I'm live. He's, like, watching the stream, and he's like, okay, perfect. Mitch is distracted. Great time to spam all his viewers and try to scam them. So it just gets... It's just like my conscience doesn't let me, like, see that and ignore it, you know? Anyway, so...
Nice. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate all the chat. Great to see everybody. Great to be back. You know, it's been a couple... I guess last time we talked was March. Really, we had that Thursday night hangout, which went really well. It was kind of went on for like 2 hours, but it was great.
Oh, yeah.
And look at what's happened in two months.
Dude, so much has happened. Bitcoin's lost. It's gotten a huge haircut, hasn't it, from its all-time highs?
Yeah, it really is. You know what? I mean, look, it's a verifiable market. It's just the question is, where's the opportunity? And I think we all sat there like looking, doing our, I was doing my 30 bar rule since 65,000. Like, okay, what are you doing 30 bars after 65,000? And it was just sideways. And, now we have all that. We have the same deal now on the downside. What is going to be the fallout? 30 bars, 34-hour bars, or even 30 days after what happened last week will tell us a great deal. If we're not off this floor, then we're going to need a lot more time.
Yeah, I think anything below like that 38,000, 40,000 is like kind of like where we would begin the measurement of that 30 bars, and we're 7 days in, so we're like, how many bars will be in? Like, I guess since that crazy capitulatory crash pop. 45 bars, since then. I mean, really. So I just don't, how do you feel about this little cipher here that I've got, identified? Just saw it. I'm like, ooh.
I really don't know that. I mean, again, that's not me. And I know that's a popular one. And I don't know much about it. It kind of looks like a truncated shark that is more consolidation. So maybe do you have other things that would line up with those levels? Like, do you have divergence? Do you have anything
you have
rolling
critical
over?
resistance from looking left all over the place, everywhere, right? That's what sucks. Divergence, maybe an argument could be made about from the X point to the D point. You do have some hidden bearish divergence from that high to the lower high with higher levels of relative strength, and you could argue that for the MACD, but in the middle, you've got like also another histogram island, so it makes it kind of tough, and you're losing that positive Momo. It's like, to me, it's like if you're not going short, doing nothing is probably the best move here, because you caught a reaction, but there's no confirmation, right? So it's like, well, there's no confirmation, you don't want to act on it anyway, kind of, right? So, and that's just kind of like the sentiment, or like kind of the message has been since this crash, is like, dude, you just don't know yet. There's just not enough data put in at these levels, and you're still at the top end of a big range, and there's stupid amounts of downside. The bottom falls out again after a little harmonic like that. You straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. So I mean, it's just like, that's always a possibility again. And that news that came out, that was PayPal making it to where you can have your own keys and you can take them off the wallet, put it into your own cold storage. What happened? Nothing. Like the market did not react to it like anything occurred at all. So and that's not been the case in bull market. Like when we're truly in this bullish momentum sequence, like everything that's bullish, you get markups, 5% markups, is actually moving. So I don't know. It's not really TA right there, but that's just kind of like, we know kind of the nature of crypto is it's momentum driven asset class, pretty much more than anything. And so when momentum shifts, we're on the bearish side of momentum right now. There has not been a true high or low been painted yet, and even though, on the daily, there's that engulfing candle and total bouncing on the 200-day moving average. I think it's really good, not once, but twice. I love that. And you're just at this resistance, man, 1.71, 1.79 trillion. And it's just, you were kind of pulled back right at the top of it today. So
they really annihilated that market cap, and that was surprising. The one candle, and to take it out, 50% of your market cap in a week.
Dude, yeah.
That just really is not indicative of something that's a short-term flush out crash. I mean, you look at the COVID crash. Go back to your famous crashes. Go back to the 87 crash. I mean, that's the most famous one of all, and that's a blip on the chart because that thing went down and then came right back. The COVID crash was down and a hard up, never looked back. So it's, are we doing that consolidation? Is that it? And then we go? Well, we have to continue. I mean, we have to bust through some serious levels and get back up. And when we roll over, then you need to be looking at more of the left side of the chart of initial breakdowns from prior examples.
Mm-hmm.
If we're there, if we're not at the low with an immediate rebound, then what does it look like? It probably looks like September 2019, something like that, or maybe even July 2019, with a whole lot of work left to do.
Yeah, but I mean, like at the top here, like even when Bitcoin corrected in June of 2019, this is what like kind of my arguments coming in for like why we could get a much more major retrace and the bull run could be over, even if it is, right? Remember, I remember vividly this textbook bearish cipher pattern that we're looking at, the idea of it being a possibility. Now, it wasn't on total that it was perfect. This actually didn't quite make it there, but Bitcoin did. Bitcoin made a perfect at the 786. I remember it was a night stream I was doing. If it's going to reverse, it's here. And it was there at that price. And we never saw this price again. After that high, that was the last time we saw those prices until, and that manifested eventually into the COVID crash low, right? So you went from, total market cap went from 341 to eventually 108 billion. So, and we were talking about the COVID crash. That was a 64% drawdown in 27 days. Bitcoin's at a 51% drawdown in 11 days. So it's definitely on the same pace as the COVID crash, but obviously much different market conditions where the stocks are hitting all-time highs. Gold's beginning to reverse its, almost year-long correction. The conditions are completely different. That was a black swan event. We're not dealing with that. So, I wouldn't be too worried about something like this happening, but you never know. So, and so if you look at this, and then we look at the argument I was just making on the 4 hour for total right here, where there is a lot more upside on this potential bearish cipher And you just, once you break through this resistance, I think you could get there pretty easily. You know, that's like 2.25 trillion.
Come back for a right shoulder, maybe, on that even. So
Yeah,
yeah.
big time. Yeah, you could reject this. You could not be able to break it and then sell off and then come down, you know, to like a level. Like there's a little wick there, and maybe a beautiful inverse head and shoulders appears, and then you break it and then get to that target, and then that's like what I remember. This stuff like happens too, where you'll have like, oh, it's a beautiful structure. Here's the measure move because that's the neckline, and then it'll break out. And look where the measure move is. Just a little bit higher than 786. It would fail to get to the measure move, but hit the 786 and then reverse. And it all would make sense, like a left shoulder head, right shoulder idea. So, yeah, I mean, these are all real possibilities. It's like, is it going to do it now? Is it going to break this resistance now? Or is it going to sell off one more time, still make a higher low, still have a valid C to D wave, and then go, right? It's just big questions. And that's the questions, right? That's like why it's so hard to have, you know, to be very confident in trade setups right now in crypto, just because of all the uncertainty and the lack of that strong edge that we always want to see, you know?
Yeah, and I personally have switched from holding, and I cashed out of long-term holdings on that last down draft, unfortunately, and then told everybody 2 days ago, it's dumped out half. I hit some stops on Ethereum 2200 were personal stops for me of, you know, I had to play defense, and then 2 days ago sold out the rest. So, you know, flat out, everybody, I'm like 98% cash at the moment. I'm looking for opportunities. I will day trade stuff if I see it, but I did want to share that with everybody. And I think I've been really clear also on Doge because of and maybe that's a good one to look at because that's the poster child of the last 6 months for sure. And it has a lot of harmonic stuff. It's kind of interesting how Doge is uniquely harmonic. And, you know, if you go to the weekly and you just draw a weekly ABCD up to that 65-cent low, and that's something I was highlighting where that probably was the target. I mean, that was like the big formation. So you go back to 0.005 cents or whatever and do an ABCD just of those two legs.
Where's A?
Or go to a daily. It's probably better. You've got more bars. You need 30 bars for sure. So go off of whatever, 1 cent. You know, just do an all-time approximation. And this is what, for me, or a half a cent, for me, I was targeting. And the Doge thing hit 62 cents, 65 cents. And
I can't do it in linear. And if I get in log scale, there's just not a deep enough of a retrace to even be able to do a B. You know, it's like A.
Oh, no, do arithmetic. I mean, just the regular arithmetic
I don't know if I can
scale.
fit that on my chart. Well, I guess I can. I just can't see where the anchor point is. Just down there randomly somewhere. 1 cent.
Yeah, half a cent.
B.
Half a cent up to the first move, which was like 42 down to 13, and then, you know, that's 41 off of 13 gets.
Yeah, and then you dump.
And that was, yeah. You had a little, you know, a 1902 overspill, but the minimum 1618 with that approximated ABCD. Look, that's a big signal. That's something I want to share with everybody. That if you guys get into that situation again, you get into a crazy asset and you see it form an all-time ABCD like that, and it can't break through, that's the other part of it. Like, you can't bust through that resistance. You hit, you form what I call a terminal bar, and there's no continuation. For me, that, you know, that was a lot of the reasoning of saying that's probably it for now, and maybe a 382 or 618 pullback. We got a 618 all-time pull back, and so now what? Well, there's a pretty nice pattern right there, right?
Oh, it's an incredible pattern right now. Like look at this. If I adjust for the second low and you just plow it, that's like a textbook bullish Gartley. I mean, 65% golden pocket, whatever. It's perfect, man. It's like literally divergence. There's confirmation low, right? Everything you want is here for a long on Doge, but it's just, how can you be confident? Because it's Dogecoin. And Bitcoin is like, really, we don't know yet. You know, it's like Bitcoin just hasn't set its direction again, and it could be down, because it's like not making higher highs yet at all. It just hasn't. So until it makes a higher high, it's just really tough. It's easy to be skeptical on anything in this market. I mean, even though we look at Ethereum and it's like, dang, dude, it's about to be $3,000 again. That's really strong. I think Doge, man, like this is definitely one of the best looking charts in crypto right now, at least in my opinion. There are others that are good too, but dang, man, look how methodical it is. It's perfect. I mean, this is yeah, sorry, go on.
No, just saying. I absolutely. The thing about it is, okay, what's optimal entry on this? So my software that I generate, because I really prefer to go off the automated structures, generated 14.6 cents as a critical low, and for that 886 swing, we hit our first profit objective. So chances are we come back for one more test. Our main levels are around 24 cents on Doge. We could probably see another, get one more retest down there. Both of those have been just picked up aggressively. That maybe one more time.
Too. Yeah. But the thing, it's like, question is, it's all about the ifs now, because it's made the second low, and now it's just up against this very critical, candle high close April 16th, candle high close April 20th, and that's the zone, right? And you're just butting up against it, and what I like, is there's no rejection, right? It's hitting it, but it's not, like, when it sells off, it's not going anywhere. It's just hanging around. It's like sellers are just not really there yet. Wouldn't that be, like, for real? Like, where it should already be down at 23 cents if it was super bearish, but could just be waiting on.
Yeah, I think structurally it has to do a retest. A lot of these things a lot of times, most of the time, of how I look at that is almost a sequential process of that reaction up to first target. And we see it a lot in crypto, where the secondary confirmation low comes in, depending, as some of you know that as the hop level, harmonic optimal price. That's just a way that I've been able to kind of create for that secondary test, a way for the overshoot. When the structure's still good, but you get that extreme move through the initial test.
Because the macro, it was insane, like ridiculous. Yeah. How does an asset not respond? How does it not fall through the PCZ? But it's okay, because it's not where traders settled up, right? That's why we care about those candle closes so much. And what I like, and I don't know, you're saying a secondary test, but didn't you get that secondary test literally on May 23rd that we're looking at on the second low? Is that not it? Like a rally, a very discernible rally, and then a sell-off, and it's like, yeah, you broke through the 786, but now you're like going down to formally test it and be like, it's almost a spring back test of a spring of a Fibonacci node, right? It's crazy. But,
that's it. It did, listen, by definition, I did see that register. It did hit 24.6 cents, I think is the exact number. I can pull it up, but it's by definition, and looking at it in a serial fashion, where you expect both of those tests to unfold sequentially. It has tested, it has completed. You do have a secondary test, and I'm pulling it up now. What's that? It's BitterX. I should look at the other coin, or
it's got it on Binance.
FTX. Binance is best feed, and that's such a pain. You gotta do that,
that's
but
like I
you
hate
do.
About crypto. Oh, what exchange for this coin? Well, there's 10 different ones. You gotta look, man.
So, and the other, look, I do have some things short term where you've got some pressure. This secondary test did not really give us a big blast, which should be happening, but that's okay, because secondary tests, they take more time. And if we come back for another test, 22 cents, that would still fit within the longer term uptrend. Daily level looks really strong, look really good with
hidden bullish divergence now. Like, God.
Yeah,
that like,
on that end, definitely.
From this low from April 23rd to the slightly higher low from May 23rd, 1 month later. Look at the level of negative Momo here, chat, and then the next one. That is, and if it keeps going like this, you're just praying for Doge to not dump, every day, because every day it doesn't dump and just hits this resistance, it's going to keep losing that negative momentum. And, Scott was talking about you want to see it really pop on that second test. But the context of the situation here, I believe, is the congestion zone, where if there could be, that's just a strategic area where price could be suppressed, and there could be absorption of the remaining supply at that level. And that's why it hasn't just gone, because there's just sell orders there that have to be absorbed. So, I mean, that's just a theory, and you could be setting up for hidden bearish divergence right now. I mean, kind of real, like on the 4 hour anyway, contradicting variable, like May 20th, you got that clear peak, and you got the lower high here with higher levels of relative strength. So, I mean, that is an argument up there. And that's like, you got to ask those questions. It's like, is it impending price action, continuation of downside being implied? I mean, maybe. Definitely seems possible on both oscillators, really. And you're losing the positive Momo. So, yeah, daily and 4 hour kind of out of whack again. But the 4 hour before this little rally here, it was like hidden divergence on the daily with classic divergence on the 4 hour. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it's going to rally, it's probably going to be off of this structure. It's going to fart around. It can go back down 26 cents, whatever. And it can go down to 23 cents. But as long as it can just stay above 23 cents, I think, long enough, man, this is like really strong. Right? I mean,
you're actually holding. I mean, impressive. It's damn impressive. In light of everything that happened, you would think Doge would have been back at 8 cents by now. And I do have a hop level. I have an extreme level. If things get really crazy, the maximum level for Doge is about 8.5 cents. And I'm not saying it's going there. I don't want anyone to think that. But I'm just saying it's still within the complex, the pattern framework, if you will, that you have a some kind of secondary level is really what I'm getting at. That don't be surprised if we see one more retest of this larger zone, which is minimum 22 cents, at least for what I'm checking my screens here.
April 17th manufactured low. Yep, that started it all, created it, and then you just correlated it after that from then on. So yeah. Could happen.
We could have some kind of spike low, and again, you're in the teens, or maybe I think maybe you fish a couple orders because it's been running like that. Like the only way you could catch those last two Doge orders or Doge flash moves is if you sat and parked a bunch of limit orders. That's not. I mean, I don't really want to do that with such a speculative asset, but on this next one, maybe you structure out a bunch once we get to 22. And see if we can get the pop, because I think you mentioned it the other night of saying, look, if Doge goes back to a minimum reactive level of 40-50 cents, it is a 50% move.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yep. And it's like 50 cents isn't even really anything anyway. It's just psychological. I mean, the real target above 41 cents, that breakout point is from here. That's a C point. That's a 72% move, right? I mean, to just like where a standard target would be on one of these harmonics, right? Just the top. I mean, that's the real resistance. 50 cents is just, it could stop there, but how many times have we seen psychological resistance just get broken? Now, it reacts above it, but then, eventually sells off below it or whatever, but that's what could happen here on Doge. So, yeah, there could be 71% upside if it's going to break above this other major resistance point, so... it's nuts.
It's at least what I say stabilizing, what you want to see. This is a situation where you do want to see 30 bars unfold after the first test and then second test, where it would take at least 30 bars to resolve something that extreme, but then you look for triggers. We're in that window where you want to look for triggers on this.
Yeah, we're 45 bars, 44 bars now, 7 days, 1 week. Since that crazy sell-off, so.
And daily time frame too is also, trying to wash itself out, which is something I think we've all been hyper focused on. The hourly, 4 hour, 30-minute time frames that we maybe a lot of people got lost sight of the daily or weekly levels. That those are actually in a lot of these instances. The daily levels are trying to settle themselves out after that huge move, and I think you got to look in terms of days for this thing to chill.
It's not only been 7 days, man. It's only been a week, so
yeah. It would have bounced back. If this was a flash crash kind of a thing, you would see this. This thing would be at a 618 of the pattern already. So
It's true.
that's where it's those early signs. Do we have a clear trigger? Like everything you do, do you have a clear trigger there yet on Ethereum or Doge?
I mean, like, the fact, I don't know, man, because I don't have a clear trigger on Bitcoin. And if I don't have it on, and Bitcoin's hitting this PCZ of a little cipher here, and it's only failing to break resistance, and I just don't feel confident without Bitcoin looking good. It just looks bad. It's like the most discernible recent event that's occurred on the 4-hour Bitcoin is a lower high than the previous high. Right? I don't think we can consider this low from yesterday as a real swing low in the previous low. So I don't know. There's just so many questions of the macro because it's going to dictate the price of Bitcoin or of Ethereum and Doge and all the other ones. So I think they're just like, it's the same old story of if Bitcoin does nothing today, altcoins can do really well. And they are. They're doing pretty freaking well compared to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin's up 1% and then you got everything else on average at 4 to 20%. So if Bitcoin goes down, I mean, these things that are up 5%, 10% today are going to be down 15, 20% tomorrow if Bitcoin wants to fall below 38,550 because there's just not much support below that until $30,000. So I'm torn from the macro, and that's why like I've shifted a lot of the analysis and things we've been looking for trades to another market, right? This traditional asset class stocks, that have been showing.
What are that? What's that?
Yeah, really, right? It's like only how both of us, or our passion really stems from. Crypto's like a newer world that we're just participating in, and we're trying to apply traditional technical analysis to a very untraditional market. So it's been working out pretty well, but if we're applying traditional technical analysis, it just doesn't look that great on Bitcoin right now still. So it's just, you have to ask all these questions like, oh man, like, so Bitcoin hasn't made these higher lows yet. We don't really know, but all right, time to long on something. It's like, I mean, sure, VeChain's up today. Nice. It's broken some resistance, but dude, if Bitcoin dumps, this thing's up 14% tomorrow, it could be down 15, 20% because Bitcoin reversed at that little cipher's completion zone. It's just, that's what makes it so much more tough. Like that's just probably not going to happen on the stock market.
Yeah, they took that out. I was surprised to see that VeChain get taken out, and that thing was starting to lose bids. It's under 20, and it just tanked. And there you go. You've got a beautiful M structure. Most of the altcoins and S coins, they look like that. They're either hitting or very close to hitting big bat patterns. Some are sharks. And and you want to respect that, but understand that first move is just going to be a hard bounce reaction. The bigger move comes on the retest, like you do all the time, and we would look for the resumption, later on. So do we come back down, and does that take the better part of another month or two sideways before we turn back up? Maybe, and then by definition. Well, isn't that a dream buy scenario for us? Like all time, we just went from all-time bearish pattern in something like Doge to now we've got all-time bullish bat patterns and Gartley and sharks.
Yep.
I'm starting to look. I didn't like what I saw on the first retest, but I'm just handling this more of a trader mentality. I'm not. I just. Some of the altcoins, I think I was overexposed in some of them because when they got taken out and they, 30% drawdown when it should only been 10 or 50 in Cardano's case, when that thing came back, I had to dump and reassess. And it was just, that's the thing for me where this crypto space is easy to get caught up into and kind of lose some of your trading principles because it moves so much. But look what happens on the liquidation. You just get a total wipeout. That's not something you want to play games with. Yeah. But now, okay, we got something to go on. I do like that.
Yeah, and so on VeChain, from its C point, from its high from May 7th, the asset lost pretty much 80% of its value in 11 days. That doesn't happen anywhere in the world. Like no market, never, not even 1929, did 2008, 1987, did that happen. 80% in 11 days? Nope. So it's just like, that is crazy, and people just need to understand, newer market participants, that you're in the big leagues, because it doesn't get more big league than an 80% drawdown in 11 days. But that 80% drawdown took you to an 88% retrace from that previous low from February 23rd. You did it once, and you kind of did it twice, and you had divergence on the second low. And that's like where opportunity could be brimming for upside. But, you know, you look at this chart, it looks great. And there's so much more upside. I think like 20 cents could happen. But you have to keep in consideration Bitcoin that doesn't look like this at all, really. It just doesn't. And that's why I kind of worry, because I'm like, this thing is going right back down to 5 cents if Bitcoin wants to go to $30,000 again, like, for sure. So I just, like, I'm torn.
There's so many. Look at like the graph.
Yep.
Look at the all-time chart on the graph, and that's, you got another perfect bat pattern, daily or weekly of GRT.
Yeah. Okay. Just make sure, because the graph's like, what graph? You know, I get it.
Yeah. And all of that is still coming in lower.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All time. It's 39 cents. 886 at 39 cents, and so you're 83. I've seen this, folks, before so many times. I saw after the .com bubble burst, this is exactly like so many of these tech stocks that went to 88 sixes or did full shark 100 retracements. But, you know, that's the proposition we're looking at, perfect bullish patterns that are just a touch lower. And so you're in that BAM, bat action magnet move breakdown from 50 to the 886.
Yep,
that
the phenomenon.
You got to get there.
Dude, look at this, chat. Bullish engulfing candle, by the way, on possibly one low, a second low. And, oh my god, GRT could be a trade setup despite what Bitcoin does. I mean, I just don't care. Like, Bitcoin gets wrecked, get wrecked. But GRT could, if it holds where it is now, could go to $1.33. The upside on GRT, nice one, Scott. The upside on GRT from where it is now, I'm thinking is like 63% upside. 63%. I mean, that's like that high from, or that low from February 23rd, that low from March 26th. I think that's it. I mean, I think that's like where this thing could be headed, and a stop loss maybe just below that 73.9 cent, that candle high, that first candle high close ever, December 20th. So how we size this up, just like have an entry like now, and then just stop somewhere, you know, reasonably below that candle high close, and all the other, not the other ones. Maybe this candle close from May 19th, but just having like just a outside the box thing like that. That's like a 3.79 to 1 reward to risk. And you're not even playing the whole harmonic or anything. You're just playing like ranges, levels, right? Which are so important. And it's like, look, I mean, this is very real. Now, this is not happening on the RSI, but on the MACD, you do have pretty real classic Class A bullish divergence right there. And you're losing that negative momentum. But this is kind of interesting, right? This is huge, a huge structure. And you can't even say, hey, there's an 88% sale on GRT. If you look at Fibonacci that way, you're like, dang, dude, why would I not buy that? 88%? Sure, right? People just don't think about, people that are newer to the market, they don't really understand traditional technical analysis or Fibonacci for that matter. They think it's over. They think you're screwed. This is where there is opportunity down at these levels. Look left, man. It's not just the harmonic. It's the fact that you hit the PCZ like the Jesus and then rallied, and look at the context of where you are. Straight up, straight down. Why the F not straight up again? The probability is high that could very well possibly happen, right? I mean, that's how it works. So GRT, great one, Scott, man. Like, this is like trade setup worthy. So how about we size it up? How do you feel about the entry, stop loss, take profit right there, at least on the first target?
I think you're there for a reaction, and definitely treat these as reactions. What does that mean? That means if you pop to like 120, 130, you automatically are taking half off, because that's how this crypto market is going to have to be played until we do a full on
daily. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you're already starting to draw exactly what I'm about to say. We're in a downtrend. We're gonna have up and down. We're no longer going, it's no longer an uptrend, it's a downtrend, but we can play these counter trend rallies, and we're going to have to do that thrust. So we're right there for a nice reactive thrust. pop up to a 382618, that's a 30-50% move.
Yep.
And then look for the retest maybe in a month, where then that comes back down on a nice hard washout, and then you go. But
and then you get that double bottom down here on the daily, yeah, and it's months later after selling may go away stuff. Yeah, I mean that.
And then draw a trend line off the top. I mean, all the way down until you get out of that constraint of the top of the pattern.
Yep, like that, right? I mean, that's it. Yep, right there, supply line. And then you end up, what do you do down here? You end up making triple MACD bullish divergence. And then on the tail end, the RSI could end up showing us that daily bullish divergence that we so covet, right? At these levels. So yeah, you could, it's like for a quicker trade to 133 to test it for the first time kind of in history, right? On the daily, to reject it, to come sell back off. But that's where we take profit. Right, and so you can have multiple targets. I mean, I guess if it's going to run higher, but that I don't know if it's going to break that. That is a steel wall, and we're in a correction. So,
classic type 1 reaction for classic stabilization exactly at the important XA retracement number, followed by a retest stabilization. I call it a terminal bar check back, because usually that price bar that hits the XA leg, most importantly, in most cases, will be that finality point. But you will get a 3-4 bar retest of that area, and then you start your reaction. And that, we might be doing that right now. That's kind of like why I needed 2-3 days just to just sit on the side and say, okay, what's going on here, and just realize that I need to shift my overall perspective to go back to active trading, take the triggers that show in front of me, but hold less, hit it, take it out. We get a nice 10 or 15% move, which is happening almost every day in a lot of these.
Stupid.
Take them, don't screw around, take those profits.
Yep. That's the case. It's just so tough, because it's like, why are you even why is someone taking a trade at that point anyway? Because volatility, it could go 10% up. Oh wow, what about it goes 10% down? You stop out before it rallies again. It's just the volatility is so freaking high. I don't know, and we'll look at the BVOL real quick. I'm posting this because this is it's like a position trade kind of, because it's being traded on the daily. It could take a little while, maybe not, but there you go, patrons, right there. I mean, that, hey, you want crypto? Here's a crypto. It's on Coinbase too, so there's no excuse for, I can't get it. It's cream or it's something else. It's like, well, it's available to all of us. If you have a Coinbase account. So, look at BVOL. I mean, this is testament to what's happening right now. You're at a major inflection point here. At least that first high ever, January 2017. This is the BitMEX, BVOL. It just shows the elevation and the of volatility, and you can see it's just what do you think could happen here? I mean, doesn't it look like, to me, think about the volatility, 64%, perfect, right? You run up, you make either here or the next high, and then you sell off, and then you show a bullish Gartley or maybe a bullish bat, where it makes so much sense at the 886. Look at this. I mean, that stuff could happen on BVOL, and so that means what we go through many months of volatility dying off, every summer. I feel like every summer it's kind of just, it does die off. It's it goes into the desert, we go into
take a look at what preceded this though. Pop a weekly chart on that. You're not going to believe it. Pop a weekly chart. I'm running it on a different screen here, and I'll get this chart up on my Twitter feed in a little while. But trace out your Gartley XA ABCD that started all of this from 2018, sorry.
Gartley on the weekly? There's a Gartley?
Yeah, on the weekly. Go off the top at 17 and just do your XABCD. The bearish. I've got it. It automatically came up for me on my thing, on my program, and this could be explaining a whole bunch of stuff. These kind of charts are great because they're so telling. They give us a lot of information about the overall direction and trend. And for me, there's a couple of things I also see in this chart that tell me, that volatility, even though it completed at 154, 155 on the Gartley back in 2020. There's more of a, it's tough to see it, but guys, just trust my eyes. The ABCD, the little ABCD structure that we really have at 120, 125, that's your real resistance there. And so if we roll over one more time, yeah, you're probably going to set up and go back and do kind of a Gartley structure back to 30 or 40 of hitting those historic lows, because on a lot of these metrics, Bitcoin does exhibit similar properties to currencies in that regard, or overall like bullish bearish sentiment, put call ratio type stuff. And if this stuff isn't rising, or if or even your overall market cap is not rising, chances are you're not going to be catching huge 5x moves.
Yeah, like what's going on now, like you could only imagine, like this will not last. What we're seeing every day is not going to last for much longer. It'll subside, right? And it'll just be
and look at your RSI. Your RSI is almost perfect confirmation to the downside. And I don't know how you're actually really the pro on MACD. I don't use it, but if you see something on MACD, this would pretty much be the place.
Kind of a little bit for a low, or a high to the lower high for now, and higher levels of positive momentum. I mean, it's extended, but it's still real. I think this is like definitely where it would level out. I don't think it's going any higher than 120. Like, there's just no way. I mean, the only time, there were just such few times in history it went above 120. I mean, you had the bubble popped in 2017, and then the COVID crash. Those were like really. We had one that was June of 2017. I think that was like a China band or something. I don't know, India, something weird. It was in the middle of that crazy year where it did, finish up at 20K. So, it's either it could continue, I guess, for a little bit longer and elevate to 120, right? I mean, that's definitely real. There'll be 78% retrace up there. Makes plenty of sense,
Brushing up against there. You're not. Listen, if it was super strong, wouldn't we be making new highs in this indicator? Wouldn't we be really raging up? I don't see that. You can correlate that to other aggressive times, either at highs or lows of important inflection points that started or kicked it off. I mean, take a look at the peak at the end of. I mean, this thing peaked out right at the end of 2021 or 2020, right before the year started.
Yep.
And that corresponded also. Look at RSI topping out too.
There was bearish divergence. Look at that RSI on the daily. It was like every time it made a high, lower levels. It was very, very real right there. Very real. So, and you're up against you're at the 70 again, rolling over. So this kind of stuff is where you realize that if that force isn't behind you, you don't have strong volatility, you don't have strong power, that if anything, you've got some clear divergent readings. That's going to be tough. And the easiest way to think about it, really, if you want to be long, just understand those kind of readings will tell you it's going to take more time before we get a real trigger to get going again. And in that case, usually that's lower. Yep. It's, let's see, December 2018, that was the capitulation crash where Bitcoin lost 55% of its value in 5 weeks, right there on that peak. And, we didn't recover from that until March of 2019, what did it do? It had to go all the way down to the bottom before a reversal. And so I think it ran up. What happened? July 2019, you ran up to 14,000. And what happened? It topped out there. And, you didn't really reverse until, February? I guess it was like you went through a correction from this time to all the way to the bottom, but then you topped out, and then COVID crash came in and rallied you up, and then you dumped again. So, and you didn't, I don't know, October. The thing is, it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's like, if you're at the top here, you may not see if like we're in the bear trend now, in the bear market, then you may not see a reversal in the trend, I guess, the short-term, mid-term trend, until we get back down to the bottom echelon of this range for VVol. So I just, yep, there could be more downside possibly, but
yeah, and look at the breakout. I mean, you go back to like October, and you look at how that volatility clearly made. And if you expand out your window to show maybe just the last year and a half, you can see how volatility broke out around October, early November, and then that corresponds quite well with the acceleration with Bitcoin. But remarkably, I mean, it is remarkable that Bitcoin did not even come close to the prior volatility high on this run that it matched in the 2020 era, or even if you go back to other points, it's like it's not that impressive.
2017 crash and the COVID crash, yep, and then you're here. Yeah, I mean, it's just like but it has matched, in fact, the peak from the low point, right, from the crash, capitulation crash, and the it is at notable levels where reversals do occur, in volatility. So I think it's coming up to back test it, or secondary test, and could run up to, it's like an up thrust and then a back test of the up thrust at 120. So yeah, I mean, again, their volatility could still be around for a while, a few more weeks, and it can continue to elevate before it runs up to test those levels. From
what about total market cap? Because that's probably the other piece of formation from a pattern perspective, structurally. That thing was sailing in a beautiful uptrend and just got wrecked. I mean, you had everything there, and then within a half a dozen sessions, completely broke apart. Something like that. I mean, really quite surprising. The volume is there. That's the other thing, is that you had a real sizable volume that was accompanying this really nice move up preceding the top. So it is, and you got to go back even, I think, on the weekly or just look at all time, because what are we going to do here? Is this something where we're in a straight up retracement perspective? Because yes, it's an amazing move. Are we going to do an ABCD off the top? These are things where you've got to ask yourself, what kind of corrective formation needs to happen here before I can look for this thing to turn back up? And if we do even just a ratio spread off of the prior low, the 2020 low, I think that's a good way to go, because there's a couple major patterns down there. You're looking at your 50 level now. All-time 886 takes you down another chunk, which would be that's just the disaster scenario. I mean, everyone needs to realize that that's just if you get in a really bad scenario and want to have an idea of how low it could go. You pull out the 886, it's like a reset.
It takes you back to that high from July of 2019 and kind of a high from May of 2018. But yeah, like doing history on Bitcoin, in uptrends and stuff, it is actually really kind of never happened where Bitcoin's in this multi-year bull cycle or whatever, 2012, 2013, then 2015 to 2017, 2018. And on any kind of retrace, it's major and discernible. It never really goes below the 618. You never get 786, 886 retraces if the bull cycle's just going to continue on and remain as the same one that it's been, right? I mean, yeah, you could reset, go to the 886, sure, but like, I'm just talking when a cycle is going, right? All these pullbacks that we were seeing here, these are all like, you can't see it on the weekly, but they're all 50% or 618s. They're never 786, 886s. So that's like, I guess, some hopium people could smoke or something. So it may not go below, 1.05 trillion. And that's also kind of, visible on the, you did have a little bit of some price action in mid-January to test. I mean, that I think that would be below that, man. You're in a lot of trouble, you really are. So, because you
thing is like a 1618 offshoot. If you had, that last ditch up to 2.5 trillion on the daily had a nice little. That was a really pretty sweet failed harmonic impulse wave where Yeah, on the daily. Actually, is that weekly or daily you
It's
got?
a weekly right now.
Yeah, go to the daily. Some people call it a hook. I forget who talked about that long ago, but somebody called it a hook pattern. It's usually like that last little wave up into a failed high.
Exhaustion.
And so,
yeah.
and I call it a harmonic impulse wave, where you fail essentially at a 113 or 127, and then go down to a 1618 impulse, and that's usually a good spot. Yeah. If you can get to a 1618 to wash it out off of like that hook, like you go to the April low to the May high. Did we hit the 1618 on that?
1414 twice, which is good.
Okay.
1618 lines up though perfectly with the look at this high back from January 10th at 1 to 1.3 trillion. I mean, that is confluent. I mean, that's X marks the spot, right there.
That would have been perfect. I would have felt a lot better about this had that hit 1618. You do have some other things there. You go back to the March low of 886, but you
could
start
very well
running.
still get it. Like this is where, hey, whatever. If it rallies, retraces, whatever, maybe that harmonic hits that target, that 786, and then it sells off again and comes down. Something like this, and it could take until this could be a literal year that this stuff's going on. But and then you got like a major double bottom that occurs or something like just insane.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm kind of seeing. Maybe not go as high on this first move.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe go up just a little bit more from where we are. Maybe get shy of 2 trillion or 1.9 or something like that, and then go back down for the retest that's just below the prior low. Kind of give you a washout scenario.
Yeah, we're at that 382 right now. And that's like there's no confluence at the 50% 618. The confluence comes back at the 786, and that's what I was talking about. Like why I thought that was my idea. If it could break this area that we're at now, then why the heck straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down? Why could it not go straight up to hit the PCZ of the bearish cipher? It literally lines up so perfectly. And that was like my train of thought thinking about it. Like, God, these things are so reliable. So I'm just like, it would just be weird to see total like hit a 50%, and then dump more, or a 618 when it's just like, man, you've completed three waves. It looks like you're already started on the fourth wave. And I mean, I'm just talking like even short term. You could come down, look, X, A, B, C, D, and then you come back test 1.3 for a spring back test, and that's that inverse head and shoulders. Before that more major wave up begins. So yeah, there's just so many ifs here right now. It's like where we are. But guess what, chat? Guess what? You had 7 months, dude, for way more, hey, confidence, the momentum, higher highs, higher lows, no matter what. Yeah, guess what? There's a lot more uncertainty now. And that's like why it's very important to not just be a market participant in one asset class, but to be it in as many as you possibly can. I mean, come on, dude, like GME. You know what asset didn't look like GME? Everything in crypto. Like nothing in crypto looked like GameStop past few days. Dude, come on. Like, this is a trade setup. Matthew D is like, hey man, how about that? And it's like, holy, got 1 bottom, 2 bottoms, 3 bottoms. Are you kidding me? In an uptrend? And
there's got up to the 886.
I don't think we got into the, are you talking about the 886 from March 10th?
Yeah, just even off of that prior high, the secondary high,
really?
you broke out. You can do an XABCD right off of there.
And that's
yep, bingo.
Yeah, 886, 322. Oh yeah, that would definitely be a bearish bat right there. And you've already broken B, haven't you? So you got a bad action magnet move.
Yeah, huge
already in the
gap
process.
up. And all of your, look at your MACD building up.
Oh,
RSI
beautiful.
expanding in the overbought. I mean, you trigger that straight to, in a serial move, as I like to say, a serial meaning day over day, bar over bar, higher highs, higher lows. That's pretty much what you're looking at GME, and you want to get on a 5-minute chart with that, and just, the thing pulls back on a 5-minute, you just bang it.
So, what did you say? You said serial move. I thought we're not talking about Kellogg, are we? Just kidding.
No. Actually, the serial move look, serial meaning like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No check back, straight line kind of a thing. But I like to think about the price bars as, collective numbers, and the numbers printing, where the numbers themselves will print if you have a close 47, 48, 49 over a couple of bars. That's the kind of thing you want to see just numerically. And if you see that, you're in a continuation, you're in an acceleration where the 886 and your target numbers become a magnet. I mean, that's what it's all about. But that thing, look at that thing, if it breaks out. If it breaks out, the thing does a 1618.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, dude? Like, for real, it kind of, in ways, I don't know if you'd see this, but Doge, looking left, like just kind of how it was like dead and didn't do grab, and it just had this huge markup and sell off. But then on that low, it made a higher low than the previous low by far, and then it marked up again, and then it sells off. And it's just making more higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And that's the way Doge kind of is right now.
Yeah, that's like Doge at 6 cents before it went to 65. Seriously, and I'm not saying it's going to do that, but
yeah,
it's got, that thing is just so, you could draw a wedge, you could draw everything you want, and it's just, there's nothing to the left until those prior
70.
peaks.
What about this? You got a 70% retrace. I mean, it's kind of no man's land, unfortunately, but you're talking like 1272s, and what about $600 on GameStop? Crash this stock market once and for all. Just kidding, but yeah, I don't know. That's wishful thinking, and we're not even worried about that because we're just using technical areas. Like the first target of the trade setup is literally 276 because it's a candle high close from March 10th. The second target of the trade setup is 380 because it's a candle open from January 29th. That's it. That's like literally that, and I didn't even do 3 targets on GameStop because I don't even know if it's gonna go beyond. If you were gonna do a third target, you would clearly be like the 1618 fib extension, right? I mean, 490 or just that wick high from January 28th, the all-time high. The peak euphoria. So it's just, it's crazy, man. And I think
that's nice. That one, AMC, of course, I know those guys are running it, but that was one I was in front of a long time before Wall Street Bets and the other crew, because AMC had some huge patterns at $2. Now you're almost at 20, and the thing's about ready to get back and recover ground. That's the identical chart right there.
Dude, it's better, kinda, it's a little bit because it's outperforming the, GME, but like, dude, remember it was like the bullish deep crab and then the bullish shark, kind of at 100% retrace, whatever. And then at the 100% retrace, you were given the luxury, it's like double bottom on the daily, but then a double bottom within a double bottom on the 4 hour. It was stupid. And then like, just unbelievable. Classic bullish divergence from one bottom to second. There were so many things. I know Probes, Jeff got like rich off this. He was already rich, but like he made a fortune on just using the things that we use, like to identify, long or bottoms, like more long-term bottoms. And it's going insane now. And it's big technical breakout. Look where it closed today. The all-time low, the initial all-time low from December 2013, and that continuation of the ice line in February of 2016. You're above it, man. You are literally above that. And I mean, what is the price action history kind of above that for the most part? I mean, straight up, straight down, maybe you say $20 psychological, I get it, but like really, man, candle high close 4 hour, $25, man. Like that's the range. So I mean, this is, you got to wonder how high this is going to go. And what is this? It's like an XABCD. We're talking about probably a 1618 fib extension. Yeah, that's a 618 right there. So it's a it's a crab pattern. So a 1618 on AMC. Sweet mother of God. Run out of room here.
It's not. Look, believe me.
$30.
The acceleration leg on this. Like if you were going to just say, oh, that's a W formation, it's a retracement structure, you would have to already say that is violated, not only because of where it is now, but how it entered the zone and just took out those numbers. Complete that it, violation. As we say, morphs into 1618 crab. Yeah,
dude, because this would have been a bearish Gartley, but that argument's pretty much dead right now because the 786 is here. And it made sense because you could have been like rational and reasonable about it, 1719. That's a peak from April 2019, a peak from September 2017. And it was just blasted through like a joke, which we call violation. Yeah, it was definitely violated. And there, the 618 on B is the 786, not the 886, not the 100%. But if it fails to become, if the Gartley fails, then it would just become the next pattern, which would be the crab, which is the 1618 up here at $30. So that is where AMC could be at $30 in time if you wait for it. It's crazy.
Yeah, and again, that waiting for it. I was actually on that initial rush. I was playing that mostly with calls and stock as well. And then I was riding that for 20, and it did a flash up to 20, and then they did the halt, and I ended up giving about, I don't know, finally getting out about 14. But it was a kill. I mean, it was awesome. And I didn't get back in the re-entry, but I'm looking now because this is where you accelerate, and those are my favorite plays. Something like a crab pattern like that, just as like a thought for people. One way to play something like that on a breakout is targeting, a CD leg completion because you're accelerating. And once you get going, like this is, I mean, look at RSI. RSI is expanding, breaking a new high. That thing will keep going in as I say, serial straight line fashion in these situations. And
once $21 breaks that high from 2018, see at $25 like a joke. I think you've broken today. You just gotta be careful because you never know tomorrow. This is exactly where it could reverse too, because it's such a major area. But yeah, I mean, like, you're at major breakout points, and $30. And guess what? At $30, there's not really anything there. I mean, if you're above $25, you're probably going to $35. I mean, that's kind of like the history of the price action. So yeah, man, it's just it's beautiful. Meme stock, by the way. Speaking of movie theaters, did you see it? Amazon acquiring what AMC was? No, who are they acquiring? They're MGM, second largest acquisition in Amazon's history. Dude, they're going all in on
they have to
movie theaters.
They have to buy assets.
Yeah, they got all that cash.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's like they've pretty much monopolized online retail, e-commerce for the most part. So you know what I love? I mean, I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy, and I know they were gonna make, or they're in the process of making, Silmarillion, which is a prequel to Lord of the Rings, when it's much more epic and much more like insane. Hopefully they use MGM for Silmarillion. I would be extremely pleased, as I'm sure a lot of people in here would be too. But so that means like movie theater. So they're buying literally like the studios to like produce movies, right?
Yeah.
I
don't know if they have movie chains or anything, but
yeah, and I know they bought everything except the debt. I don't know how they got away with that, but they obviously evidently they're not buying the debt, so that's pretty cool. I mean, so I don't know how I feel.
What's Amazon look like? I haven't looked at a chart on Amazon in a while. Dude, what's that look like?
Stucksville. It's stuck in a rut, man. It's just range bound forever. Now let's see how long. How long has Amazon been stuck in this range since July? 1 year. Almost a year. Like, you're talking about 322 days of nothing burger. That is brutal, dude. That's really brutal for a growth stock. But that's just not where the action's been, And it's like, guess what, though? If one's taken along at the bottom of the trading range, they can make buku bucks running into the top of the range. I mean, same with Netflix. Netflix is almost identical. Look at this. Looks like the same market participants making this market, making this one. And dude, look at this on Netflix. We identified this recently. Oh, and look at that, man. Look at the bounce it got, the reaction at the pattern completion zone of a bullish Gartley inside this mega range. This is a successful trade setup posted in November of last year, and the targets were obviously up here on the top of the range, and then it hit the top of the range and couldn't breach it and has dumped, but now value again. And that's where you're looking, man. That's what you're really looking for. Harmonics like this and ranges, that could be like you're now entering the last phases of Wyckoff reaccumulation, I think. If you can implement something like this and identify it, I think you could be, this thing's target, it'd come down and you catch a secondary test or something like that, reversal low. But I think the target, again, on Netflix is 556 to 568. I love it because there's a gap up here that needs to be filled. 549, I think that could easily be filled. All the other ones were filled. I think that was like the first target of the trade setup was the gap fill at 524. The entry was around like 480, just because it was there and it was never filled, and it did. And then you dumped shortly after filling that gap to a higher low than previous low, but nearing kind of the entry of the trade before it just gapped up on earnings and then just crapped itself. It looked up thrusted and then back tested the up thrust. So, hey man, you
there on the daily, but I need to bring you out a little bit, and this is something I'm seeing on a lot of issues. that I think everyone needs to, again, it's like crypto. Okay, we need to also cross that with look at your weekly time frame. And this is something where, for me, assessing a lot of this stuff,
right?
Let's look. What do we got?
You know what we got? We got a bearish
crab.
Yep, bearish butterfly. Bearish butterfly at the deepest part of its, because the 786 on beat. It hit it and is right. You're talking about that 30 bars. I mean,
I got an 886. That's an 886 at a 1902. The 1902 number, guys, is a number that I used with the deep crab in particular as like an additional overshoot. Now this one has a 1902, almost perfect on the weekly at 585. This is something, yeah, I agree with the daily stuff, but we're seeing this in Amazon, we're seeing this in Netflix, this bunch up, this sideways nothing at the 1618, 1902 on all of these that, it hasn't reacted, but it's not going up anymore. And even a 382 on that gets you to 450, where maybe this is just a reaction. Maybe we're not. Maybe we need to kind of give this whole thing a reaction. That is that thing actually went down
48 bars. So you're right. I figured at this point, is after that amount of time, isn't this where it should have been selling off, and it's not?
It definitely should, no doubt.
Now showing bullish Gartley on the 4 hour. Woo.
Yeah, and I think on that, if it's you go back to the top of the range, all right. But I don't. And I do. What do I have? I got a shark actually on the 4 hour at 502. But this definitely is still just really contained with 580 on the top side, 480 on the downside. You maybe go back and run up to the top of the range, but if
this is not a trade, or this is not an investment, yeah, like if you're watching this trade, we're not talking about invest Netflix. I'm saying one would invest in Netflix, quote unquote, until it gets to 586, 568. Then one would exit the investment, right? Kappa, just kidding, the trade. So yeah, I mean, it's just low. You were at the lower end of the range, but then a beautiful textbook Gartley. You do not ignore Gartleys in this situation. And then fill the gap, hit the top of the range, get out. But that's the thing. Like, it could, if it's not dumping at 45 bars into like this consolidation, then I mean, like, that is also a sign of kind of strength. And it could be a sign of strength, like Amazon, where I mean, it's at an area where it should be reversing and it's not, and it's spending a prolonged amount of time at these levels. And maybe if it gets to 586, 568 again. I mean, after making a higher low, instead, look, what's happening at the beginning of this range was like every time you were just hitting the same level that was created July 23rd over and over and over and over again. But if you fail deeper into this range and make a higher low, that is accumulation again, right? So we don't know yet how it's going to go. I mean, it may come back down. It may sell off, and yeah, it comes down to 467 again. But I mean, this could be reaccumulation. Could be. But again, don't bank on it. But hey, again, what are we here if we're not here to identify structures and ranges at lower risk areas for long opportunities to take profit at high levels? So whatever. We're just talking here, chat. Calm down, relax.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, that's a nice one in the range, but you have two things to consider for sure. That longer term is something, to be aware of. If it broke out, if it breaks out, Netflix has got something a heck of a lot more to go if it takes out that pattern. Conversely, hey, we get a pullback on Netflix. Your investment level would come at that 382, around 450. So maybe a nominal reaction down here. These kind of sideways moves that a lot of them have been stuck in are going to resolve pretty soon, and once they start showing which way they go, I think you get your next leg. I'd love to see this stuff come back.
Yep.
Give us a nice retracement
come back
after
to
everything.
387, dude. Look at this. All the support down here. It's never tested it technically ever. So, I mean, I would, like, maybe it goes up, fill the gap, and then you exit and you never think about it again. It's like, either way, when we're talking about, like, low risk, high reward opportunities, and value and stuff, there might be value within this range if you zoom in. But if you zoom out, this is extremely high premium you're paying on Netflix. And I think it has one of the highest PEs that exists to mankind, right? I mean, isn't it nuts? Isn't the PE...
Exactly what it is, but these
price
all
earnings
have...
is 60.
Yeah.
PE is 60 on Netflix. It's not, I think some are like, I thought it used to be like 300 plus or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy, but yeah, dude, like this is not the epitome of value. It's the epitome of, premium. And it's kind of like Bitcoin in ways. Bitcoin from, 50 to 65K for 3 months, same thing. Kind of Amazon, Netflix. They're just up at these highs. It's not like PSXP, my friends. It's not like, it's not like this one that was at indubitably low risk, high reward opportunity areas. There was no doubt about it. There was no question zoomed out. That was it. And so you got the spring, the back test, the spring, and the asset since the entry of the trade setup is now. It's now up. It's up 45% in 63 days, a couple months. That's what. Sorry, dude. It's not Pundy Coin, is a stock, but this is what dreams are made of. Approaching the first target of the trade setup, which is 42.57, which makes why would that be the first target? Because look left, man, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, and guess what? Straight up, we win, right? We looked at the historical context of what the asset does between certain ranges. It's doing it again, and that's what TA is about, right? You're using previous data to try to help your decision making on where it might be going if it ever broke certain levels on the bottom where it go to the top, right? And that's where it's headed. Very fast pace too. Holy crap, it's energy, dude. Oil and gas pipelines acting like a freaking growth stock. 8.68% dividend. Sorry, my bad.
A lot of those energies they have got killed. Look at that UNG, the natural gas, the United States natural gas. That thing's been a sucker. Honestly, really hasn't done anything forever, but now we bring it up and look at the weekly. This is the kind of thing where you want to see, you see your setups of where you want to be positioning yourself on something like that, and the natural gas spot futures price looks good, and then the boil. Is that a weekly or daily?
This is the weekly.
I think you want to go to the weekly.
Yeah, you want to go to daily? Should I go to daily?
Yeah, go to daily. Either one of those. It's a big one, 618 into the low.
Where's the X for this one? Is it 2016 or is it?
Let's see, where did that? Let me check that out. I just posted that.
Yeah, let me look in your message.
Let me see that.
Let's see. What was that? X was at. Was X August 2019? Maybe.
I think so. Hold on.
No, it went way too deep, man. It went to like a 2618. It was like almost a canary cat. But yeah, I'm trying to find that. Trying to figure it out. Where was?
Oh, here you go. Wait, I got it.
Was this it up here? X was like December 2017.
Let me take a look. Yeah, this is it is weekly. It's off of pretty much December 17th. I had back-to-back crabs. I had a crab in the big spike move up, and I have a crab back down on the low side around $9 here. But this is another sleeper where you've crashed out, you've stabilized, you're retesting lows. Time to start looking for this where minimum retracement moves take you to 25, 27, 22.
Yeah, 1618 right there.
Yeah, Boyle is another one. Yeah, that one that has all the markings of like a real capitulation, throw down 1618, and they'll follow through. It doesn't go bankrupt, whatever.
Look at the local price Boyle. Action. It's kind of like a look at. It's sprung, and then it's like trying to back test the spring down here. The only concern I have about this one is like it's such an all-time bearish trend where no matter what happens, the performance is gonna be weak and crap because it always is like that, right? I mean, it's always making lower highs, lower lows. It's like at its all-time low like almost every day, kind of, So that's like the concern I would have with this one, just because where we look, we just probably go from that high on A to D if the bottom's in. What we do, we just go for a 382 at $20. I mean, a really shallow, moderate retrace.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're already lining it up, but I think you're there. You stabilized in a lot of other instruments, natural gas futures, and of course energy in general is all exhibiting this. This one's playing catch up very soon, and some of the other markets, big natural gas producers. LNG is a really good one, liquid natural gas, and Exelon is actually the name of it. But they're all, a lot of these are just stabilizing after the 10-year bear market in natural gas. I have a lot of experience. I spent a lot of time on the floor of the natural gas exchange. So, I was involved with it with my buddy who was the biggest independent back in 2000, 2003, when the thing went to 15, went to 12. And now, okay, they took it all the way down to $2 and change, 150. It's as low as it's gone, and you're at a major cycle low. So it's one that I'm not saying immediately, but you want to get your radar. You want to be looking in areas like this.
Yeah, monitor it daily. Yep, absolutely. It's just at a potential reversal point, the 1618, and that's all you have. We, like market participants, we know for a fact, have nothing to go on this chart besides fib extensions. So, and you're hitting it once and kind of twice now. So it's like, okay, one low and the second low on the weekly, extremely higher levels of relative strength than before. So, I mean, if it doesn't hold this, $9, whatever, the 2618, see you down at like negative dollars. You're going to $0. It's going to be free. They're not even going to be able to. They'll be paying you to buy gas. Just kidding, but
did that before already. Oil went negative. I mean, oil already.
Yeah, it did, man. God. Well, thank God we don't have a liquidity crisis upon us and black swan event and all the bad stuff happening at the same time. God, it was brutal. Hopefully, we don't see anything like that for another 10 plus years. But who knows? Yeah,
that was definitely a real issue, structural issue. I think it's basically destroyed the continuous contract chart forever. But it also shows you if that was ever a capitulation by definition, going minus 40 per barrel is about, I think, as bad as you could do. And I think there were. Right? What's that?
It never happened before, right?
Never. I mean, it's just. I don't know. If you talk to people 20, 30 years ago and you told them that might happen someday, I think they would have laughed at you. And I think anybody, like I said, know a lot of guys that were traders on that floor, heating oil, natural gas. And that is just, they would all point to that as one of the issues with being all electronic. And, it was previously an exchange that was a physical exchange, open auction. And then they got cleared out. That exchange pretty much doesn't exist anymore. It's there, but nobody's really there trading. Mm-hmm. And, they would say that's because of it all being electronic. I mean, by definition, that should not have happened. There should have been some kind of equaling out. But from the larger perspective of if we're looking for things that are recovering going forward, okay, that we haven't looked at previously, we got to look at these oil exploration, pipeline, things that have been doing nothing for 10 years are about to do a cyclical recovery.
How about a great segue into the next asset I want to look at called NAT, Nordic American Tankers Limited. Look at this effing chart, man. Don't tell me if your mouth doesn't water. Unbelievable. We've been sitting in this for months now. Literally, I got a couple dividend rounds now, whatever, 11%, 11.11%. Dividends repeating, of course, Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, but look at this, man. 88% retrace, double bottoming above an ice line from freaking 2018, making consecutive higher lows now. Oh my God. It's like the composite operator's here, and he's about to make this thing go absolutely insane. That's NAT. But whatever. It's too much accumulation, man. This is the weekly. It's so good. Look at it. It's right at 55. Positive momentum's building again. Last week was a bullish engulfing candle to break it above the critical November 2018 high. It's like all the makings of a varsity athlete right here. So many. The target's 446 minimum. I mean, then after that's 516, and after that is wow, no man's land. Like, you know, probably up here, $7.50 to $7.50 after that. So, you know, this thing is getting ready to rock and roll. We are the composite operator. We are with the composite operator. We've been with him for months, and we're just waiting patiently. A lot of patrons I know have been adding to their position, right? Where we got in, like, literally at $3 in early January or late January, early February, right? And it was like an X, A, B, C, D. But that deep retrace, man, so powerful. That low from March 2020 to the high, value, and now the whole meta, the whole fundamentals are just playing. That's like, show me the charts, I'll share the news on NAT, because everything is going the way, fundamentally, the way the chart's going for NAT, the way it's looking. So it's gorgeous, man. Anyway, sorry.
It's a lot of those did that, and they did. You go to weekly or even monthly, where they've been through tremendous cycles. The reason why a lot of those tanker charts were so high back in 2014 2004, 2005 was because we were still importing so much of our oil from the Middle East that, you know, they were paying the ships a ton, and then we shifted over to domestic production, and that changed the game. You go to something like Continental Resources, CLR. That's another one that's the biggest North American producer of energy.
Oil, dude, I remember this was like a trade setup. Dude, look at this. Oh my God, yeah, remember back here? Some of you patrons will remember. Dude, let me find this. Holy crap, it was beautiful. It was so...
This is just starting to get going too. All-time 886. This is a perfect example of the all-time 886 reset. You see that so much in, you know, these IPOs like that do cycle, that are cyclical. Continental Resources, great company, you know, but it's still prone to the cycles. And when they do these 886 resets, cycles over, time to begin again, and that's what this is doing.
Absolutely. And here's this chart. I posted this chart November 23rd of 2020. Here it was, right? So you had these lows all the way back from good God, it was back from 2008, 2006 and 8, and then you look at this ice line right here from February 2016, and then it was like, look, you'd hit the all-time low, you bounced, and look what you were doing at the time. This is why I loved it. You broke the supply line that you were in a multi-year bear trend since 2018. You broke that supply line, but at the same time, you were breaking this ice line. And that is so bullish that those two things happening, and the 200-week moving average, I believe. No, the 200-day moving average at the same time. And then here are your targets, just standard targets, 31.48, 39.16, 46.84, but eventually probably $60. And look where we are. Lo and behold, it's like you're at that first target. I mean, you've hit it once and twice, and it's going to take a little time. There may be some divergence there, but yeah, you think that it could go much, much higher. Yep. And it was like a huge, look at the shark. Did you see this effing shark?
Yep.
Oh my God. This is something I didn't even look at. Oh, it was perfect.
That's what I'm hoping Bitcoin does. Bitcoin gives us a fat 1618 thrust. Something like that.
Good night, man. That is what dreams are made of. So if you're watching the stream, you're trying to become learned, welcome to being learned. So we have a new day upon us. Let me do some Jesus chimes.
Yep.
New day is upon us. We had a 4-hour bullish engulfing candle, technically above 38,554. Meh. That's cool. Let's go to it. Let's check it out. Bitcoin. We zoom in, man. We zoom in. Here it is. Just, yeah, whatever. You can call it engulfing. It is. It covered the previous candle, but whatever. And how'd the daily go? How did the daily close? It was, wow, you technically, even though it's almost nothing burger, you technically engulfed. But look at the rejection at the 200-day simple moving average and 40,677, which is that candle high close on the daily from January 8th, 2021. I don't know how I feel about that, man. You just said, nope, I'm not breaking that crap I'm not doing that. I mean, that's like exactly what the price action did and before pulling back. So we'll see, but that's like I'm saying. Still lots of mysteries because they're just so much you are below that you need to be above. It is imperative you break above these levels that you're currently testing and rejecting in some ways. So just be mindful. Hey, good news. Look at that. Continuing to lose the negative momentum, getting closer to neutral, positive. Wow.
When MACD is real good.
Yeah.
When MACD gives you signals like that, that's something. I've studied MACD before. I think Wells Wilder's the genius of genius for indicator creation. He's the one that did that, ADX and all the others.
RSI, right? That was him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But, that's something visually really nice about it, where if you're looking for somewhere to get into, you'd want to see that MACD kind of flip to green. And if it doesn't, well, then there's no follow through. If you were looking at a pattern area and that didn't follow through for you, then you're probably just scratching. But
you can get near positive neutral again on these. I've seen it in bearish conditions, and it'll just be so close, and then the negative momentum will start building again before it can even go positive and start dumping in price. So yeah, your critical points now on the MACD histogram for sure. You're not showing any form of bullish divergence at all. There's no edge. The only edge you had was one bullish engulfing candle, but you're below every area you need to be above. That's it so far. And that is kind of like since the bottom, kind of the first back test we've seen of that area. You had a couple of days, but you were still on the way down, May 20th, 21st. So yeah, man, it's got a lot of work cut out for us. But that's why, again, we've put a lot of emphasis on some stocks today, because that's where the party is. Go where the party is. Stop trying to hope that the party is in crypto. You had 7 months. Get over it. If you missed it, that's your fault. You should have been here. When opportunity presents itself, it is far too late to prepare. You should be participating in these markets. If you really care about trading and making money, you got to be here when the market's doing nothing, when the market's selling off, when the market's doing things. Keep your ear to the ground, to the proverbial crypto ground. I mean, you have to be here at all times. You can't just, I'm gonna take a break, man, for a couple years. Like, have fun. You're gonna miss out on signals that just appear. Jumps across the creek in July, the midsummer, through Rising Valley's little bullish Gartley there. You jumped across the creek, you ran up a crap load, had a huge cycle for altcoins, tons of trade setups for pulling back, making a higher low before all the news-driven catalysts came out, PayPal and Square, and then just launched. So, but if you were watching the stream, if you were an active member of this community, and you watched every day, you win, because 11,463 over and over and over again. That was the 3 gorgeous damn resistance. If you truly broke that, not a fake out, if you broke that, you were gonna go to all-time highs, and we did, and we 3x'd from there. So it's just like, it is your responsibility, if you want to make money in these markets, to constantly be tapped into them. Yeah, I know it's a lot of effort and work, but guess what? I mean, like, if you watch the stream, are you doing anything? Like, I'm just here, I'm the one being tapped in, so you don't have to, right? I mean, like, that's the thing. You have to at least, if you're not going to do it, at least be honed in watching someone that is. It's like my job to be kind of tapped into these markets every day. So that's like, you got to do something, man. You can't just hope for things. And I'm going to
traders too.
Yeah, I'm
as traders, you got a conversation with yourself all day long. I'm having conversations about these opportunities all day long by myself. And I do my thing and my stuff. But then, to be at your stream where you're covering a lot of stuff, it's good to hear someone else's argument of how they're seeing it, and then you compare that to what your conclusion is. I think it's pretty clear. There's a lot of things you have pointed out, and things that were not in development, they're still not giving us, as you say, the edge that we need. And for me, I'd want to see some clear-cut patterns develop on a larger scale. I think this market is tradable, but that's it. And again, I would be actively following it, because we could get a huge pop, or I've seen this just in the last couple of days, of you get a huge pop and then a rollover. And so what is really, can you really capture these opportunities? I think you have to be aggressively following it from start to finish now, not be complacent, because you could have something overnight. Notice how a lot of activity is going on from like 12 midnight till about 6 a.m.
Yep.
And
a lot of it's happening at like 5, 6 a.m. for sure. Like all these moves keep happening then. Yep. 3 a.m. Sometimes when the London session opens at 2 a.m. my time. Maybe it's 1 a.m. I can't do daylight savings time screws it up. Yeah, that's like A lot of stuff's happening because Asia's afternoon and then like the EU's morning, so it's kind of like a double whammy. But yeah, that's happening. And for swing trading, man, it's like you may very well be on the other side of the fence where we're in a bear market, or at least a short-term bear market, or a correction that lasts for several months. And it's like it's really tough having successful, nice swing trades, long swing trades in that situation. So that's like why I want to look for the asset or the asset class or the market where the asset's showing consecutive higher highs, higher lows. Right now, it's still too early. Like I think just like, wow, you're only 1 week after a 50 plus 55% drawdown. 1 week after that. That's just not enough time. Not enough time. And if the trend is truly reversed, we're at that like kind of point where you're on the other side of the fence for momentum. You've already made a consecutive lower high, lower low. So you could begin a trend. There's a trend that could be occurring. So you run up, maybe you just make another lower high, and then you sell off and make a lower low again. So that's not what you want. That's not the market area you want to be trading in when you're like in this estuary where it could be shifting from a bullish trend that's been lasting for many months, over half a year, into now a correction that could last 100 days. 100 to 150 days plus. Gold did it. Gold was in a multi-year uptrend and then corrected for 270 plus days. You want to have fun trading that? No, hands off until it starts showing us some sort of reason why. Hey man, it's the momentum shifting. We're making consecutive higher highs, higher lows, whatever. Double bottoming on the daily. Something on the daily. Like this is the daily, and there's nothing here besides you sold off, and you're kind of still like right around that area where you bottomed out. That's not really anything that's great. It's like, cool, dude, congratulations, people bought, but not too much.
So that narrative, remember, going all through last fall and the winter and even entered into this year, the narrative was so strong for gold of saying, the money printer, so gold and silver, they got to go, and they didn't. Now, I had a bunch of stuff. There was an all-time alternate bat pattern at 2200 on gold XAU, and for me, that was last August. We hit that and we had no follow through. So reaction phase, harmonic pause, however you want to look at it. Even
Wyckoff distribution.
And that against that narrative, though, I'm saying of everyone screaming to buy gold, it was still the TA was totally respected and needed more time. And now we see it with Bitcoin, where it's like, just draw a trend line. Did it break the uptrend from last year? Yep. Does it need to give us something before it can resume on a longer scale? Yeah, I think so. We still have to see super demonstrative signals before that larger uptrend resumes. And I all from technical levels, we will get the signal. It's just where, and there you go. Just respecting the trend line, and this stuff does that. I don't care if it's Microsoft or Google or ExxonMobil, Disney, going back 50 years. You look at long-term charts, this kind of stuff repeats over and over again, and you have to just be patient, wait for the long-term uptrend to be hit, and you'll see it. I mean, it's that would be something I really should do that maybe next week or after the conference. I do go back. Like I've got a program where I can go back on data 50 years and go look at the old time stocks, the way the patterns and like the 74 or the 82 corrections or the 87 crash had all the same kind of structural features and had to wash themselves out. Yeah,
like even the 1929 crash that's like probably where Dow theory came to be. I don't know, because it's like it crashed and then rallied 50% and then dumped again, like hard. So I mean, it was like the dead cat bounce. Well, that's maybe where the dead cat bounce terminology came from, but
Dow theory was way before 29. Dow theory was Wyckoff too, and was stuff that Richard Rea at later time, and then Charles Dow himself, which he started writing on. He was the one that started it. He wrote that as articles, and I think that was like late 1800s. So his model of like 50%, 1/3 corrections, he was just doing a categorization for the first time of market movements. I don't think anyone has, he could be probably cited for those kind of market phase characterizations. There really weren't too many people putting it together. You had Japanese candlesticks, which were a discipline going back to Japan from 1700s, but Charles
futures,
Dow
right?
stuff. What's that?
Rice futures, right?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah,
that,
and but Charles Dow was like the first guy really to talk retracements and percentages. I feel he's like, in my research, one of the first guys to say, hey, this has to go a third, this goes 2/3, and they were just really trying to make sense of it. They didn't even have charts back then, barely.
Yeah, and if they were, they had to write them themselves, right? They had to graph them. Dude, imagine graphing a moving average. Okay, we're going to do the math today. All right, 200 moving average. We need to change it. Okay, let's do the math on it. Past 200 bars. Okay, add them together and then divide by 200. Okay, that's the price. That's where it's at. Okay. Every day doing that. That would be ridiculous, man.
Well, they weren't even. They were just doing high, low, open, close.
Yeah, they're not doing. I'm just
And
saying.
they weren't even. The moving average stuff came later, but it's those first guys definitely. And then when they were plotting it by hand when the ticker tapes would come in, and it's just fascinating stuff. But
Man.
that's what these guys. That's how they really got it, because they were looking at every quote, every 30-minute quote, every 5-minute quote that came on.
Dude,
I think that's how they really got it.
You brought up the ticker tape, so I went online because I wanted one, like an actual one from like the 1920s, and like an Edison. That was like the big one, the Edison tape ticker. Unfortunately, it costs about $30,000. So like, it's just a little bit out of the range where I could pull the trigger on buying it and having it. I might still do it at some point if this market turns around. We get back up to 60K Bitcoin. I might get an Edison tape reader, ticker. So they're expensive, man.
Yeah.
But dude, talk about tying the penthouse together. My new penthouse, man, it'd be brilliant to have one of those. Just right when you walk in, what is that? Oh, it's an actual real reader, from the 20s. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, that was the satellite dish of the 20s and the teens. To have one of those in your offices. It's fascinating. That's actually something, personally, I've studied a lot of the history. There's a lot of stuff for anybody that's a real library geek like myself. Go to Library of Congress, and you can go online and check out all these amazing resources, investment letters that were written. They talk about manipulation. Back in that day when you had the investment letter writers literally getting paid to pump stocks, they still, all the patterns still work out. I mean, I did research as far back to that, but it just seems like there was more it was all word of mouth. And, what we do now today, even in the last 40 years, 30 years, where technical analysis has come, is just amazing. Definitely, I don't think people would have ever thought, charts and technical analysis would have the pull that it does have now. Although the origins go back 100+ years, or Japanese candlesticks hundreds of years. So,
trying to pull up a good picture for some of the viewers are asking, what are you talking about? Here's a great picture of one. But like, man, the one I was looking at, it's got this just amazing, like, kind of mahogany wood. Like, it's a cylinder that goes all the way up, and it's like sitting on that. It's so beautiful. It's like, if you ever seen the Peaky Blinders, the latest season, like the stock market crashes in that season, and you'll be able to see a perfect rendition of it. I would recommend watching that show if you haven't. This is what it looks like right there. That's it. And it would just read out the prices, the live prices. It was a revolution in the stock market.
Come over on a telegraph line, wired directly from, right from the exchange. That stuff's really cool. I've spent a lot of time in New York City at the exchanges. So, and it's just such a steep history that, if you're a market geek, it's something to go check out. Go to the exchanges. I've been to all the exchanges. Actually, the first exchange floor I was ever on was the World Trade Center exchange in, what was that, 89 or 90, where my buddy was trading natural gas, just started. And, that was the pit where they filmed Trading Places. And it was wild, just like they do show in the movie. And then they moved over to their own building years later, after, thank God, because of 9/11. They had moved literally like 2 years before 9/11, so it was fortuitous they were out of there. But just that whole Lower East Side is amazing, in Manhattan. And I also, again, I think I mentioned this before, I've got my own experience. I worked for a summer on the Philadelphia Stock Exchange, and that was the country's first stock exchange. Those exchange floors, they're gone now. They're relics of the past for sure, but boy, that was quite an education. And
it's how people made money during the time. It's like,
yeah.
It's like
Yeah, but you think about how we've come. I mean, you're showing the ticker tape. To be interested in that is really, it's cool because it shows you, really how people of the past had to disseminate information, had to make decisions, and it's, it is just insane, quite frankly, what the last 100 years has done with the markets. It's I don't think, no matter what crypto does, no matter what all these markets do, I personally think like NASDAQ right now, this sideways action, not great. We get a correction. That would be the best thing, quite frankly, but markets are not going anywhere ever. And the markets are something where everybody that's in here looking to learn and develop skills and follow the market, because you don't learn it in school. You don't even learn it in business school. It's amazing. But we all need to know about it and follow it, because that's where the money is flowing through to get into society. And so if we can participate, you can make your own life. And that's, I think, Mitch, you're a living testament to that. I'm a living testament to that, because, my situation a little bit different, and, man, I need to talk. I really should talk about that at some other time, but I've been able, despite everything I've had to face, I've been able to make this life through the markets. And so, for those that are struggling, trying to learn, you guys have to give yourself more time. You've got to study. If you're not hitting it yet, you need more study. You need more market time, and you keep pushing and you never give up. So you'll get there, but you realize it's like you either decide you're either going to make it or you're going to quit. And that's what usually happens.
Do you want to become a doomer or do you want to become a bloomer? Huh, Chet? That's all you can be these days. Doomer or a bloomer. You understand the world is screwed up, messed up, a lot of futility going on, a lot of bad things, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you give up, exactly, or you become a bloomer where you realize this thing suck, but you got to focus internally on yourself, because if you can't fix something, what's the point of even worrying about it, right? I mean, that's all you can do is work on yourself, work on providing for your family, your friends. If you don't have friends, make friends. If you don't have a family, make a family, right? I mean, you've got to build. You can't just sit there and not do anything, and a lot of people are stuck in that. It's sad, but the world's become kind of godless, and I don't know, people gravitate towards insane things.
You and I started there. Everybody starts there.
Yep.
Every successful guy that has ever made it big that I've known has started somewhere. They started out on their journey. Some, we know, some have it easy and they have a red carpet into the industry. I know a lot of guys like that. They come out of college and they're given $100 million to manage, and they never look back. But other people, or most of us, we got to make our own bones, and that's where what you're doing, every day is like, you guys are getting a business school education here, and I just say go to town on it. If you're frustrated with your trading, pace yourself, take it easy, step back and look at what you're doing, because there's going to be plenty of opportunity. The crypto market, look, there's going to be great opportunity. Let me it needs to give me some new signals after everything that happened in the last week or two. I probably missed $500 in Ethereum. I dumped Ethereum way too soon, maybe. I didn't want to ride it down to 1800, but I probably cashed out way too early, and my Cardano too. Okay, but I'm waiting for another opportunity, because I know I'll get a bullish pattern. I know I'll get another signal. So this is all part of the process that everyone needs to learn. It's not a perfect science. You're wanting to listen to people like Mitch to get perspective, because it's not easy to maintain through all of this craziness, but that's a part of the skill, the thought process that everyone's developing. And if it gets cloudy, it gets frustrating, take a break. For me, it's exactly what happened to me in the last couple of days. And I just said, all right, a couple of days, if I take a trade, it's going to be short term, and let me load back up. Maybe after the Miami thing, I'm going to look to take a little time off and then come back and get it. Let's get it right after the Bitcoin conference, and then I'll be recharged.
Absolutely. And it's like, who cares if you miss out on $500 here or there, dude? It's like you're going to make your money on the way to the top, and then stuff like this happens, and it's like, all right, you got to maintain that wealth you made. Like, we made life-changing money on the way up, so it's like, okay, we got to preserve that capital. We got to have protective stops. And yeah, then it's like when the volatility gets like this, like, to me, it's almost untradeable. Like, I don't like trading when volatility's aside. Like, that's just me. Like, I like it when it's a little bit more methodical. The volatility was nothing, like, even in February, like it is now, nothing like it. So it's just it's too much. The swings are too high. You're in a range that's too large, $10,000 range. I mean, that is so much. There's so much downside at these levels that it's just like, I don't know if the reward is there for the risk that you're taking. Like someone's talking about, I'm gonna go long right now. It's like, dang, dude. I mean, yeah, it could just breach through this like tomorrow, the next few days, like nothing, of course. But at the same time, this is exactly where an asset could reverse to the downside and come all the way back down to $1.29 trillion, because it's straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. So why could it not go straight down again? It could. And that's like the whole point. It's like, you had your opportunities, and now it's like, well, we could look to the stock market, we could look to gold and silver for opportunities that are a lot less risky. I mean, I feel like there's kind of high risk still in the crypto space. But yeah, at the same time of me saying that, you have assets like VeChain that has retraced 88% of the way from a major discernible swing low from February, right? I mean, you do have some Bitcoin Cash, same thing, 78% retrace. I mean, you just have ones that are 113% there, but a 78% retrace, I believe, from like the COVID crash low. Like, not even kidding. That's deep value. So, but with the volatility being so high, it's like high volatility with unknowns, and only the 4 hour showing edges, not so much the daily. It's not enough info. You just want a lot more info. So
you can easily get a drawdown if you're not positioning it in the right spot. You can easily be drawn down 15-20%. And again, it's something that is a challenge with this, because a lot of these have been real scam wick kind of move flush outs. But yeah, I think 495 is a huge number for Bitcoin Cash, with some things there harmonically, and it definitely is looking a bit better now than it did a week or even 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago was just in an awful slide after looking like it was going to 3,000. I mean, I thought that thing was primed, ready to go to make its move to 3,000, but it did, like you say, straight up, straight back down, bitch smacked. I mean, really just like slapped that thing right back down, and then a complete evaporation and liquidation. That's for me, on a relative scale, okay, when you see something more than 50, 61.8 in a short period of time, that's a full liquidation that will require some stabilization. Here, an example is like a rule of thumb I use for the larger markets. If you get into a really bad bear market scenario, usually the bear market is not going to go any more than like a 40% all-time correction off the all-time high. So if we had, like, just out of the blue, had a crazy market correction in the Dow, well, maybe it'd be about 12,000, 15,000 points. That's about it. But if you were to really break 40% historically, and it hasn't happened too many times, then you're looking at a full reset, like, 2001 or 29. And those are just ways to look at larger retracement levels like this, that, okay, we know it's not a continuation retracement. This thing is more stabilizing now. Great. Okay, I need a little something else here. We got to break out of that downtrend as well.
I want to see a higher low. That's it. I want to see Bitcoin Cash sell off and backtest 600 or something, 615, and make a discernible higher low than the previous low. Anywhere. Like, I just don't know if this is major enough from May 25th to say that's a swing low. I just want, or like here it keeps rallying, hits 880 and then sells off and goes to 650 or something. I just need to see something besides a low. And the most major recent event was the lowest low of the rally, lowest low since freaking sweet mother of God, March 25th. So it's just, yeah, I mean, but hey, stocks.
On Bitcoin Cash, I do have a real nice crab structure. It's off of that last, little, the wick from the prior real thrust up to 1600. And that XA comes in at 496 on Bitcoin Cash, but we have spent the better part of, I don't know how many bars on that 4-hour chart, a lot of bars down here, making our way up. So
49 for 47, 46, 45. I think it's 46 now.
Yeah. But and again, when you see that a retest of the low or the zone, it's probably likely. And again, because you go sideways, you get the reaction, but no follow through. You can't get out of the zone. And that's something else about how to read it after it hits the pattern completes. What does it do? Does it get out of the zone even? No, this isn't getting out of the zone even yet. Oh. And then you can scrunch it up and say, okay, if this starts rolling over, like Bitcoin Cash starts breaking under 715, we're trading 760 right now, or even under 675, you're then looking at the full retracement of the zone. And that's and a lot of these on that rebound move only did a little bump. They didn't give you a real thrust, and that's why I think this stuff probably needs more time.
Well, I mean, for real, it's like the oscillators in the 4-hour at least are screaming that. I mean, like a high on price. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD histogram, and then you look at the deep retrace from that high to the next high, but substantially higher levels of relative strength and MACD or positive momentum. That is hidden bearish divergence and development on Bitcoin Cash. Like impending price action, continuation to the downside starting to be implied. And then just like you're hoping that if that TA is respected, which it very well could because you are kind of like in a downtrend now with lower highs, lower lows, you go down and you make a higher low than $500, and then you pivot off that, inverse head and shoulders, and then it's more clear. You just don't have enough data yet. And total, again, you are not above anything. You are only merely back testing the old zone as resistance. Very strong. Like, it's just very powerful to see like resistance, support, resistance again. It's almost like an up thrust and a back test of the up thrust. It's like inverse spring, back test of spring stuff. It's not really that good. And then you do have the bearish cipher to boot on Bitcoin. It's not very large, but it is very real. And if you're in a bear trend, these patterns are very reliable. So I'm just saying, we'll see how it goes.
618 off of that last thrust that it still needs to get hit on total market cap. Is something that I'm looking for. You almost have a 3 drives shaping up where you could have one more thrust down to maybe 1.2 or even 1 trillion. There you go. And then, maybe one more down. If we can't break above this little swing 886, exactly, I would look at something like that. Then you would register your all-time 886 retracements on a lot of those altcoins. And that would be, for me, that would be the washout. When you start looking at, somebody asked me, a guy who has a big following, and he had like 50,000 followers in 2017. He was exclusively crypto. And I met him, and he knew about the harmonic patterns, but the market was going down, and I just said, I haven't been involved with crypto in a while, but it seems to me like when it gets down to the 786, start paying attention, and when it gets to the all-time 886, start buying it all, because if it's going to still stay in business, that's the reset number. And maybe that's what we do with, say, the altcoins on this run. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't do an all-time 886 or Ethereum, but a lot of these altcoins, like I showed you guys the graph, or some of the others, maybe they do the 886, and then that's it. Maybe it takes time to then base and go sideways. But if you go back and look at how that 886 retracement has come in several times on the weekly as the reset number, the reset ratio number, then it's pretty clear to start then looking for, after that hits, okay, then show me some buy triggers, show me some bullish divergence, show me something, volume exhaustion or whatever. I mean, the pandemic low had perfect exhaustion and a couple of bat patterns to boot.
It's true. Yeah, major ones. Yeah, it's like kind of like GRT is showing the same type of bat structure that Bitcoin had from like where X was the 3150 low from November 2018 or whatever. It's kind of like the same thing on that chart. It's just so major, and not the same time or anything, but it's the same. Makes the same amount of sense. So yeah, I mean, sorry. Yeah, this is a tough thing. Okay, what happened last week, real tough. Okay, and to me it's a surprise, but the other part of it is that, look, you read the whole landscape of how many coordinated announcements did they have last week. They went after Binance Coin. Ridiculous, man. Yeah, SEC investigation or whatever.
Yeah, and money laundering. You know what their money laundering is? They're worried about the cold storage wallets. That's what they're worried about. They're worried about people removing the crypto off the exchange, putting it into a cold wallet, and then handing it to somebody for some kind of ridiculous, nefarious purpose. That's what they're dreaming of. So they'll paint that scenario. To go after Binance Coin was a target. I got concerned when I heard that, because Binance Coin, I thought, it's been the poster child for the model, for the future crypto financial model, all-in-one financial service crypto firm. And the fact that they're going after them, I guarantee is based on, the money laundering effect of cold storage, potentially that they could do it. But again, all of this is, I think, to slow down the phenomenon, because they know they've got risks that they have to manage without trying to lay down a whole bunch of legislation, which they probably will later this summer. But I definitely think, you look at banks like JP Morgan, okay? How is JP Morgan doing? JP Morgan's almost all-time new highs and in a major uptrend. They're certainly changed their tune on crypto, but they're not going to let that get out of hand and let it get 2, 3, 10 trillion without getting a chunk of it. Mm-hmm. So there's serious threats there that, the coordinated action of the last 10 days or so, or really this stuff really started since Elon went on Saturday Night Live. Things have gotten squirrely. Yep,
it got real bad, man. And then he tweeted about the Bitcoin not being energy efficient, and then carbon taxes, and it was really weird. He flipped, and the whole market flipped on that. So he'll get blamed for it, I guess, but whatever. It wasn't just him. It was many things. Yeah, it was, remember what it was? It was Bitcoin's no longer taking payment with Bitcoin for their cars. You can't do that. So
if you're hanging your hat on guys like Elon, hoping he'll tweet Doge to $1, and believe me, that was a real challenge for me to dump my position at 65 cents. It was an awesome move, and with the whole perspective of, this could go to $1, and then my position would be whatever. But what I want to share with everybody is, look, that worked out incredibly well. Look at my Twitter feed and the things I was saying at those times just a few weeks ago. In the face of all of that bullishness and hype, the patterns were saying it was time to get out because a correction was coming. And I had highlighted that in a few streams that I did. And I just said, look, I don't want to sit through a 30 or 40% correction on the size that I had. And it turned out to work out quite well, but I'm taking the risk the thing could go to $1. But my plan and what I make my decisions on, which are the patterns, the measurements, were telling me that. So as crazy as it was and as great as it felt to have that winning trade, it was time to end it. And that's kind of the feeling I've had since that Doge, kind of coming to that conclusion on Doge, that I will let go of the profits, whatever they may go to $1, $2, to wait for that next opportunity. And, hasn't come yet, but maybe Doge will give it to me back down at 20 something cents. But all in all, no matter who you're listening to, still make your own decisions. No matter what, don't be hanging your hat on like Elon Musk for him to take Doge to $1. We're seeing a lot of that, and it always ends up where you lose your money. Always, always.
Yeah, and it was like, I thought the consensus we all had was, I know it was mine. I even said it like vocally multiple times on the stream. It's like, I think you'll run up leading up to the event, and on the event it'll be a sell of news. It's like your textbook price driven event, right? And then after the event occurs, dump, right? How many times have you seen Nvidia will run up leading up to the tech conference in January or whatever, and it dumps, right? It's like everything, like, when they're hot, right? When they're in the news, when they're the ones that are really rolling. I mean, it's just sell the news, but sell the event situation. That's exactly what happened. It peaked out, hit 75 cents, and then it was all over. I mean, you've never seen it again since then, right? So it was perfect.
Well, sweet, man. This has been a phenomenal experience. I really appreciate the time.
Okay, dude, thanks for coming out, man. Yeah, we said to do I feel like I had to do a baptism after some things. That
maybe next week we'll have to figure something out next week. And you're in town.
Yeah.
We'll do a stream or just even like a quick something, or we'll figure it out. But we'll do something.
Yeah, we'll have an amazing vantage point, like the bay or whatever where we're going to be staying at, be able to set it up. It'd be cool. There'll be models and stuff. It'll be fun times, man. All kinds of stuff. Bet Moonboy's going to be there. Logan.
The legend.
Yeah, dude. The man himself will be there hanging out with us, staying at the mansion. So it'll be fun. Fun times ahead of us. But we're going to get to enjoy it because we took some profit. I reallocated into real estate. That's a new venture for me. Super excited about it. And until Bitcoin shows some new sort of edge or something, I've got my hold account. That's a lot of money. It's a crapload of money, but that's it. That's the only exposure I have to crypto is my hold account, and it's like, fine. I'm not going to allocate more capital into this market until there's a reason, because it's a momentum driven asset class. Give me some higher lows, just give me a one or two higher lows, higher highs, and we'll talk. But then you got to worry about the big XABCD that we're staring at right now in Ethereum. So
yeah, let's see how that plays out. I do agree. I mean, if I get a little something on like a 30-minute or hourly where that pulls back, I might get in on it. But again, anything I'm doing right now is going to be real short term. Not with a real sharp focus, and probably just a day trade. Some of the altcoins do look good for day trades, but you got to set your limit in advance. You can't sit and wait for your target to get hit and then decide if it's going to hit my price, maybe I get out, see how it works. No, these things are hitting the numbers and then just coming off pretty hard. So just be precise. I think at this point, I needed to just come off the market for a few days, but I will hope that this can continue to stabilize. And I, of course, will be posting stuff on my Twitter if I see some bigger formations. If Graph gets down to the 886 or if all-time crypto market cap does that 1618 downdraft one more time, that for me could be a real important level. So we'll stay tuned on that.
No doubt, Scott, man. I appreciate you coming out, and we'll talk soon. Especially in the next coming week or so. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to seeing you, and thanks for stopping out. Chat. Say goodbye to Scott, the man. Gonna get some dinner now. I'm sure you are too. I'm sure you got stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, man. It's been 2 hours. So
great one.
Much love, brother, and we will talk soon. All right.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, dude. All right, chat. Just you and me. Bitcoin. It's flirting with that 38,554. Go, man. Go. Not a good start to the new day. That's okay. But GRT, man, you're just in this. All right. You don't want to ever see GRT fall below 74 cents again. That's kind of getting the cutoff point, because that's when you go straight down to 62 cents. So you're playing the engulfing at deep retrace value area, and you think, a new wave take you to 133. There's a lot of upside if it can hold this zone right here, right there. That could be the promised land. That could be opportunity. Okay, so it's one that sticks out. We're position trade, kind of like your one's taking along and they got a pretty wide stop and profit taking. And it's the daily you're playing, down 3.64% on the new day. So, and it could go much, much lower, right? Bitcoin drops. Bitcoin's down 2% on the day. 2%. Dude, Bitcoin goes down like 3 more percent. Oh, dude, look out. You're talking about double-digit percentage losses across this entire market. The whole market's on average down 3 to 5% right now. Dude, any more downside on Bitcoin, you're getting more. The volatility is effing high. As high as it normally ever gets. So have fun getting destroyed by 10% swings literally every single day. There are better markets to trade right now. As the swing trader, you can have fun with these swings, but have fun, man. It's just not my style. It's not what I teach. With swings like this, we look for 4-hour big edges. This is at it hit the deep value areas, but it's not really catching bids, and you would just be playing it because it broke back above the December 2020 level. There's no way in any universe that this asset sees 133 if Bitcoin goes down again. There's just no way. It's never going to happen. So all right, y'all. All right, so two guests, 2 streams. What was your favorite? I don't know. I think people are going to have different opinions about what was best, what was good, how much fun they had, how much they learned, how much they truly learned from each guest, you know? Okay, so some opinions there. So I think what should I eat tonight? I finally ran out of food and stuff to cook, so I'm gonna probably just do an Uber Eats. Sushi is a good call. I haven't had sushi in a little while. Gotta order it now though, because it's starting to get later. I mean, it's starting to get to points where sushi tire. Sushi's brilliant. I don't know. They don't have the sushi I want. Dang, dude. Wow. They're not even open. How are they closed today? We're closed on Wednesday, dude. So anyway, dude, yeah, not good. Like, that's like typical start to the new day. I'm telling you, dude, you've done nothing positive. You've done nothing really good. And the only thing you got going for you is a bullish and golden candle on the daily. And now we have a clear, confirmed rejection at the 200-day moving average and the candle high close from January 8th. That's it. Anything below that is certainly bearish. Nothing bullish about anything below that. All bearish. So you have to break that soon. Otherwise, you will be going back down to the 30,000s, the low 30,000s. It's just going to happen. It's like, not many things can happen between 30K and 40K. All right, not many. So pray for that. The Alaska roll is good. I like the Philadelphia roll. That's one of my favorites, dude. Like cream cheese and smoked salmon and avocado or whatever. But only from places that have good rice, because I'm ordering this though for 13 minutes till it closes, evidently. I can't wait to move downtown, man. I'm so happy about it, dude. I'm talking 1 month from now, I'll be streaming in my penthouse with everything up. All my art, my new artwork I bought, all my furniture that I bought, everything. This 6-month plus process of transition will finally be complete 30 days from now. Oh my God, talk about delayed gratification. All in on delayed gratification because it's finally about to just hit me like a waterfall of positivity. Bueller? I should have visuals. I don't know, man. I'm just getting one more, and then I'm gonna order this, and we're good, dude. Sorry about that. I mean, I guess we could just end the stream now. Whatever, dude. I guess we'll get an Alaska roll too, since someone brought it up. Whatever, man. Alright. You got any extra yum yum sauce or something, dude? I might have to call them for yum yum sauce. What happened to them? They used to be a hibachi grill. What's up, Jaded? Oh, turn that back on.
Towson super chatted $50. You're so appreciated in this space, Mitch. Just know that. Throughout this community you've built.
Thank you, Jay, man. Well, thank you for being a part of it and everyone else. I freaking love y'all, for real. I mean, straight up, I mean, in the end, I've had a lot of really good things happen to me in my life. I've had a lot of success with things. You know, obviously a lot of failures too, like everyone else. But I'll tell you, I would think probably at this point, the best thing that's ever happened to me is y'all. This. Whatever this is that we've got going that I didn't even know could be a reality. Okay, that's it. What's Manbear Pig again,
I
man?
have some evidence Manbear Pig could be in this area.
Come on, more Bitcoin, man.
Manbear Pig tip $38.61. Epic Stream Mitch, thanks to you both. 0.00100000 BTC.
Thanks for that 8160 on the day, Manbear Pig. Much love. Love the Bitcoin. Hey, giving me Bitcoin on at value areas or on sale. I don't know how much more of a sale we're getting. We might get more sale, okay, but it is on sale compared to where we were the past 3+ months. That's for sure. So thanks for that. Appreciate it. Think about how much value my $54,000 tip, you know, between Bet Moonboy and Gavin is now. I got a huge haircut. At least it was around 50K and not 58K, but you know, it's rough. Spicy salmon, huh? What the?
Sometimes, opportunity finds you.
I guess so. Unix gaming, I guess it does. But also, if you... I just don't know at all if I would have the same community if I didn't put in the work I put in. So at the same time, you know, yeah, opportunity I guess will be there if you're constantly knocking on the door every day and you don't give up, you don't quit, right? You don't ever stop, you just keep going. Your persistence will destroy any other quality or trait another person has. And if you're persistent, you'll constantly always be better than yourself, and that's who you should be competing against at all times. You should never be competing against comparing yourself to me or anyone else, right? Compare yourself to who you were yesterday and just try to be a little bit better, and that's how you win in life. And you do that for a year, come back to me, you'll be so much richer, so much happier, everything, okay? I've been live almost 3 hours now. My God, dude. Time flies when you're having fun. When you're having fun, right? Talking about TA, having a guest on. Look, man, again, I had no idea what yesterday was going to be. I have no clue, and it.
Wise words, bro. Much love. Heart.
Thanks for the 5, dude. Yeah. But today was everything I dreamed it would be. Hanging out with Scott. A lot of fun. We click really well. For good reason. I didn't forget, man. I just, like, hello? I just gave you, like, you know, this guy's, like, written books on TA, right? I mean, like, is that good enough? Is that good enough for the $20 you contributed? I know everyone got it, but I'm just saying, you know, like, let's be real.
You forgot about Dollar Cream request, but we can save for TMRW. I'm sure you're tired.
It's completely
now.
fine.
Great
Like,
stream.
anything above 100, look, maybe a stop loss gets hit, whatever. It's still fine. Above $100, you're bullish. $100, you're fine. Okay? That's it. Above $100, it's bullish. Below it, could be in a lot of trouble. It just pretty much went down to a 95% retrace because Bitcoin crashed bad. So, yeah. Engulfing. You might even back test again this spring. But closed another bullish engulfing candle yesterday and above the 200-day moving average. And your target eventually is 151 again. Can you believe it? Then 181. It's like it's been barely affected at all compared to Bitcoin and other cryptos. It's amazing, dude. So I do love cream. Okay, cream. Divergence. Oh, certainly there was divergence on that lower low. Yeah. In reality, man, even with this low here, it's kind of like you still made a higher low than your low from April 23rd. That's ridiculous. That's still awesome. Fantastic, man. Cream's alright. Anyway, man, I've overstayed my welcome with y'all. I understand. And yeah, if there's a request I missed or what, I would just get to it tomorrow. Hold 38,554. You're selling off to 36.5 and below that. There's really nothing there. Not much anything there till 33K. So just be careful. He's been around, Brad, literally kind of since the beginning. Like, he's been forever. So it's all good, man. I don't think there's a problem. Okay. I'll leave y'all to it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate the 800 likes. Thanks for the 1,000 people still here after almost 3 hours. Y'all are real ones. I'll be back. Until next time, respect the tea. Hey.
life. There is nowhere else, at least in the near future, to which our species could migrate. Visit? Yes. Settle? Not yet. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand.
I like robots. I have a robot vagina.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei!
And then, just like that,
Adios, turd nuggets.